RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
All right, what the hell is going on? Hi guys, this is Tara Devlin, unapologetic liberal talk on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy, and humanity. Republicans should try it sometime, but I think they are a lost cause. Are they? Yeah, they are. Oh, I love that Republicans are all of the sudden praising Zelensky. Now, you tell me, if, let's say Putin was winning, all right, if the world wasn't rallying around Zelensky and the Ukrainian spirit, which is really the spirit of 1776, they're the new standard bearers for democracy, in my opinion. Here in this goddamn country, Republicans are they're not. They don't like democracy. Yeah, we'll bring the receipts. But if Putin somehow were able to pull a rabbit out of the hat here, and the world wasn't being shamed into supporting the Ukrainians, and I think that's what's happening with Zelensky's and the people's spirit of the fighting for their country. The Republicans would be siding with Putin, as they always do. All right, so let's just do the plugs before we get into it. And at 8:30, Thomas Reynolds from FYI Nation, the Nosey Liberal, will be calling him on Skype. Hopefully we get the Skype going and there's no problems, because I just realized I didn't put the phone on. All right, whatever. This is what we do. And thank you, Richard W., right out of the gate, a super chat in the chat room at youtube.com/C4channel/Tarabuster with the message, another great show, Tara. I hope I can live up to the standards. And I think I can. I just checked with myself. We'll be fine. So, let me see. What are we going to talk about? Well, we want to talk about, the traitors. There are a lot of traitors in this country, and it's don't be confused. I mean, I know you guys aren't, but if it quacks like a fascist duck and walks like a fascist duck, it's a goddamn fascist. Republicans can't help it, because in every Republican chest beats the heart of fascism. I really wish the Democrats would not shy away from using that. You could take it. You don't even have to give me credit. But that's the thing. Republicans never miss the opportunity to whine about socialism whenever the government comes in anywhere near the possibility of possibly maybe somewhat promoting the general welfare over the welfare of the corporate elite, of the transnational billionaires who are riding us all to the bank. They're the ones really responsible for your gas prices. So, yeah, they never miss an opportunity to suck us dry, including Mother Earth. If Mother Earth doesn't stand a chance, what do you think her people, what do you think her children fare in the balance? Republicans hate everything but their greedy little ghoulish whatever excuse for a soul they might have. So, and I don't know. All right, let's just get into it. Well, first, all right. I have to just say, please become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. We did a Patreon challenge yesterday, and no one, whatever. That's why we didn't have a show. We didn't have any patrons. We didn't lose any patrons. That's good. But we didn't get any. So if you can, become a patron at patreon.com for $2 a month or whatever, if you can. That I know how strapped everybody is. Trust me. But this is how we're going to keep the show going and growing. And, before I forget, next Wednesday night, Tom Hartman's going to be on the show talking about his new book, The Hidden History of Big Brother in America. and I guess the American surveillance state. So that'll be interesting. And also, I love Tom Hartman. He's the real deal. He's not kidding around. Like I say, you don't have to beg him. He comes on the show, right? Because he supports other liberals, and he's not, he does it because it's in his heart. And that's why I do it, too. Certainly not doing it for the money. Well, yeah, for real. So, I know, isn't it funny? Like, we've had some fascists on the ROKFIN. Oh, yeah, this show is also carried on ROKFIN. There are some right-wingers over there, I have to say, but we are bundled with other liberal talk shows, and anyway, I hear from a lot of fascists over there. In fact, somebody put a message on one of the shows, something about can't fascism also be patriotic? No. You know what I mean? This is how confused they are. Republicans can't help it, though. They think that waving a flag, or I don't know, what is freedom to them? The freedom to oppress. That's what it is. The freedom to not have to endure the inhumanity of having to share civilization with those that you don't agree with. That's what they call it. It's not just about, we just have disagreements. Disagreeing on someone's basic existence. They don't agree that that gay people should exist, that trans people should exist. That's the difference. It's not about low taxes on the rich or deregulation. It's, we just have different opinions that you shouldn't exist. You have the opinion that you should exist, and we have the opinion that you shouldn't exist. So, I mean, we're so put upon, Republicans. They're the victims, you see, in this scenario. They have to worry about pronouns, and you might have to call somebody a different pronoun. Oh my God. And, they don't seem to understand that they're the fascists. They are the domestic enemies the founders warned us about, okay? And I'm not just saying it. Let's talk about it, and we'll give the examples here. Okay, but first, become a patron, patreon.com/Tara Devlin. If you're on other channels and you want to hang out in the chat room with the best chat room in all of independent liberal media, I'm not kidding. Go to youtube.com/C for channel/Tarabuster and hang out with the greatest crew, the OG Tarabuster crew. And, get to know them. We're a tight-knit community, and we're going, and we keep going, and we're growing. So thank you, Richard, for your super chat. And also thank you, Jim, for your super chat. As always, Jim shows up, and he puts the cover charge on the table. I appreciate that. And Stephen Lee, thank you for your super chat. And Stephen writes, may Ukraine be victorious over Russian aggression. Absolutely. And show the American people the spirit of 1776, what it means to be united. Republicans, they're seeing this opportunity. Well, they're seeing what's going on in Ukraine. The same people who wouldn't pull a hair for their fellow Americans, they wouldn't put on a mask to save their neighbors or granny in a supermarket or anyone that isn't themselves. They don't give a crap about anybody else. Let me breathe. I can't spew my disgusting corpse breath on everyone. I just shoved down a BLT and a double bacon double cheeseburger. Let me breathe. Fucking whiners. And then you see, and the whiners who worship a con man. A tax-cheating, draft-dodging con man. I mean, when you cheat your taxes, con man, Trump, and the billionaires riding us all to the bank, you're yeah, you're ensuring that military that you love so much, only when they're cracking skulls on those wanting a more perfect union, of course. You're cheating them out of body armor and all of the necessary equipment they need to, so-called make the world safe for democracy. And also, not just the troops, the police they pretend to love so much unless they're actually defending the Capitol against a violent fascist mob. And you're cheating the whole society out of the dues of admission, the price of admission to a civilized society. That's they don't want any of the responsibilities. That's left to the rest of us. They're takers. They're goddamn takers, parasites, riding us all to the bank, and I'm sick of it. Yesterday, there was something on Twitter. Somebody, it was some dumbass list. All these magazines, they love lists. Top 10 pustule boils on Trump's ass. This was the book, 10 books that Elon Musk reads, that you must also read, something like that. Of course, it was more better written than that. And who cares? Fuck you, Elon Musk. You know what I mean? Oh, what did my lord read? As if he reads. This is the same guy who, when he was criticized by a Democratic politician whose name is escaping me right now for, hey, if you can afford to go jerk off in space, you can pay taxes, you could pay the same tax rate as your secretary, something like that. And Elon Musk's response was, how come your profile pic looks like you just came? Okay? A grown man. How come your profile pic looks like you just came? That's your response. Oh, but let's see. Let's read because we all want to be like that, right? This is who we have to emulate. Now, I'm old enough to remember when the whole Monica Lewinsky bullshit and the Republicans crying from in front of every microphone they could find, every TV camera and mic they can find about, what about the children? How am I ever going to explain to the children about a blowjob? A BJ? Oh, what about it? Oh, What about the children? How am I going to explain to the children about paying off porn stars in installments? How do you explain? Well, first of all, you got to explain to a child how come somebody who pretends to be a billionaire needs to pay off a porn star in installments, okay? How do I explain to children the trophy wife number 3, former nude model? Huh? How do I explain to the children what she did to that rose garden? Well, how do I explain to the children that Nightmare Before Christmas in Hell Christmas display that looked like it was out of Vampira's Nightmares? How do I explain? You want to talk about the stuff of nightmares? That was that. Not only do we have to have the nightmare of a goddamn tax-cheating con man and a grifter squatting in the White House despite receiving fewer votes, we got to have nightmare. We got to have his bitch trophy wife number 3. That's what she's called. She's not the first lady. She was trophy wife number 3. That's it. Nude model. How do I explain that? Please. How do we explain the morons storming the Capitol and still, how do we explain one of the 2 major parties still being lickspittles of this con man who doesn't know that Finland isn't part of Russia. All right? How do I explain to kids where the transcripts went from Trump's secret meeting with the tyrant Putin? There's a lot to explain to children. But it goes to show you that the Republicans are they're liars. They don't give a shit about children. They don't give a shit about babies, zygotes, freedom, truckers. They don't give a shit about, the asshole truckers who they're having a tantrum. There's a small segment of them. It's a ubiquitous tantrum about every grievance under the sun. Now, I guess you should just pick one, traitors, but they can't because they're toddlers. And, and how do you explain to them the fact that Trump he specifically screwed truckers who are independent contractors, because that's how this country rolls now. The rich get richer and everybody else fends and fights amongst each other, fends for themselves and fights over the scraps. There's no unity. That's all done on purpose, by design, to keep the American people dumb and divided, and so they can continue to destroy democracy. But one of the assaults on the American people, the working class, was in Trump's tax scam, where they took away the ability for truckers to deduct mileage. So all of the little nickel and diming of the American people that actually adds up. It was all to funnel money into the hands of people who don't deserve it, didn't earn it, and do nothing with it except destroy democracy. The Republican Party are a bunch of traitors. I got the receipts. Look, I'm just looking at this picture right now. That's why it came to mind, because yesterday the Proud Boy leader Enrique Tarrio was arrested, and there's not a coincidence. He was guarding or providing security for Roger Stone, the traitor. Okay, hanging out with Donald Trump Jr., the traitor. Hanging out with Ted Cruz, the traitor. These people are traitors. Ted Cruz was one of the traitors who objected to the certification of Joe Biden's electoral college count. He's still a traitor. What the hell is he doing in office? And also, he's the one I keep thinking about whenever they keep showing video of Russian soldiers crying and calling their mothers, the reality of the situation. I keep thinking about Ted Cruz tweeting Russian propaganda, that video that looked like, we talked about it on the show the other day, it looked like it was out of some kind of Marvel movie, The Avengers. Actually, I think I have it here, because he took it down, Ted Cruz, or whoever originally tweeted it took it down. I was trying to find it. And I keep thinking of that. That's the caricature. And then you have the reality. That's why Republicans are unfit. Everything, because fascism is a caricature. You know what I mean? Everything is Trump. Trump is a caricature of a human being. He's perfect. He's the best. He's the greatest. He's the best billionaire with the serial bankruptcies, the best everything, right? But somehow can't get by without siphoning money from his dupes. He's such a billionaire, he needs the RNC to pay his legal fees, right? Because he's got so much money to burn. But Ted Cruz tweeted out Russian propaganda. Here's the video.
Границы. Ты готов ломать себя? Да, потому что без врага нет боя, а без боя нет победы. Но на самом деле главный враг вчерашний.
Right out of some,
Твоя задача выследить врага, догнать его, превзойти,
cartoon.
стать лучше, чем он, и вернуться назад.
And that's, I'm taking the video from, we're playing this Rubin report, which is, it's a right-winger, a traitor. This video that he created was defending Ted Cruz and jumping on the bandwagon. Our military is too woke. Because this was the other video. Let's see if we can play it.
It begins in California, with a little girl raised by 2 moms. I also marched for equality. I like to think I've been defending freedom from an early age.
Yeah, that's freedom. You see? Republicans are confused by it. That's freedom. The freedom to form a legal marriage contract or any contract with anybody you choose legally and peacefully, right? If you want to form a legal marriage you want to build a life with somebody with the same pee-pee, whose effing business is it of theirs? But, the Republicans hate freedom. They hate freedom, guys. They hate democracy. They like autocracy. They like the caricature. Because freedom takes maturity. It takes the ability to live with people who aren't like you, who don't worship your same sky spook, or maybe no sky spook at all, who form legal marriage contracts with whoever the hell they want to form a marriage contract with somebody of the same pee-pee. Go right ahead. As long as nobody's getting hurt, who cares? I don't care. Why do they care so much? Oh, I forgot. Their ancient book of fables told them. And their sky spook, which is just curiously a giant version of themselves. But okay. Another example of Republicans, the party of personal responsibility, taking absolutely no responsibility for anything. You know what I mean? Even their hatred. It's all deflect. I got nothing to do about it. My giant invisible man on a cloud told me this. It's incredible. But this is, advertising for the military in a way that attracts all the diversity of the American people. That's what we want. You don't want a bunch of goons who are there because they think they're playing out some kind of military fiction. And trust me, none of them, of course, Ted Cruz, not this asshole, the Rubin Report asshole, none of them ever put on a uniform for this country, never put themselves in any kind of harm's way or forget not even harm's way. They've never gone out of their way. But they're looked up to, and I don't know why. Why? You know what it is? It's racism. It really does come down to it. Comes down to racism. It really does. Oh, is Putin calling me a racist? I'm thinking of Tucker Carlson. Is Putin getting me fired because I disagree with him? Right, just a disagreement. It's only disagreeing, right? You just disagree about taxes and regulation, right? Not about the very existence of somebody. And Republicans never stop. We thought that, we have come a long way in regard to LGBT rights, and but this is what happens. Republicans are dragging us back. Don't say gay. Don't say anything. Don't say anything that triggers them. Don't say a different pronoun. Don't say a CRT. Don't say Toni Morrison or the bluest eye. Don't say whatever. Don't ask them first. You got to go through them to see what you can say because they love freedom. You see, they love freedom. Like Michael Flynn, the last show we were talking about him yet again. Advocating one religion, one God, everybody together. It's all of us together. Unreal. Perhaps a woke, emasculated military is not the best idea. For what? What world are you living in, Ted Cruz? Well, he's living in some kind of fascist hellscape, really, where I guess, I don't know, the military swoops down, they launch missiles, and everybody paratroops into a Black Lives Matter parade. And then they start murdering everybody, because that's cool. Uh-oh. You know who's back? Guess who's back? I didn't put him in the bedroom because he was asleep. Look, he's awake. Guess who's woke? He's woke. This is woke. Ah, sit down, honey. It's Tara Jr., everybody. He's woke. Hello. Say hello to everybody. Say hello. He went to the vet yesterday, everybody, for his allergies. He's doing well. He's got a big scab under his chin from scratching himself. But he's on medicine. Zyrtec, half of a pill of Zyrtec 2 times a day. He's also on something else that will help him, hopefully, with the itchy. He's got to stop scratching himself. That's what she said. All right, let me see. Hold on. Let me get Thomas in here. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Oh, hello. All right, how's everybody doing? The producer is here. Yep. Zenny on the chat. Republican laws are not passed to help people. They're made to create division. Absolutely. And if we get closer to any kind of unity or understanding, that's when they swoop down. And we want to talk about this with Thomas, because Thomas wanted to talk about the Don't Say Gay bill. But first, let me see. Let me see. Let's see if I can get him in here. All right. I might have to. I'm glad Thomas is coming on the show, because you know what's going to happen in the next couple of minutes. I'm going to have to put him in the bedroom, I think. And they took his blood just to appease, not appease, but what's the word? Just to why can't I think of words? This is really bothering me. I hope I'm not getting Alzheimer's. But to not appease, assuage, or to calm. It's not really calm, but to let everybody know that he's doing well. His insides are he's doing good on the inside. So that's what we like to hear. All right, Thomas is getting impatient here. All right. Boom, bum, bum, boom. Bum, boom, boom. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Hello?
Hello.
Are you doing a video or not?
Yep.
Oh, okay. How come I can't see you
let
then?
me get my right camera on. Just bear with me.
That's fine. There
My
you
apologies.
go.
See?
You're fine. All right.
Hi,
All
Dara.
right.
How are you?
Hi. Hold on. Let me put myself on the other side. Can you make your camera go down a little so we?
No, I can't.
Oh,
it
okay.
literally stays. It's in
that one spot.
all in one computer, and it's attached to the computer. It's
I see.
actually really cool because it has a privacy setting. You could put the camera down into the computer.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just
so
saying it because if I put on your lower third, it will be
Oh.
covering your face. You know what I mean?
I'm okay with that. That's
Stop that. Don't stop that. Well, let me see how. See, look, it's like cutting you off there. No, you can't do that.
It's okay. I don't need a lower third. I'm all right. People can figure out who I
Well,
am.
not everybody. If somebody comes
we can
by,
tell.
they're like, we don't know who this person is. See, it like comes your whole face off there. All right, whatever. We'll have to identify you now and then. It's better that way. I mean, who the hell knows who the hell we are? I mean, maybe they'll see the title of the show, but they won't know you. You know, they'll know me because it says Tarabuster with Tara Devlin. They won't know who you are. Maybe they will. I don't know, but you don't know.
I hope at some point they do. That would be nice.
No, I know, but you know what I'm saying. You got to make it very easy on people. It's the truth. You can't. Everybody's being inundated. You have to make it easy. So they want to, when nobody's going to be like, oh, who's that? Let me investigate. They want to see it right there. I'm telling you. Okay, whatever. We'll work on that. We'll have to work on, because look, I'm like giant in the screen and you're small. I don't know if you're looking at the feed of the show. You see?
Yeah, I see the feed. Yeah.
You see how little you look and how big I look?
But
I mean, this is an aesthetic thing, but okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. This is liberal, whatever. You know, everybody's cool with it. I'm just saying it would look better if you were more like we were the same size and the same height in the frame.
Well, the height part is also my chair. My chair is sinking. So and I need to stand up straight a little bit and, be a little bit more willing to do this whole I'm on camera thing.
Right. Well, maybe, that's fine. Yeah. I'm very proud of you. That's good. Everybody that's the other thing. People want to see people, that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, you have the option, but
how uncomfortable it makes me. It's like a Republican talking about gay issues. God forbid that happen.
Well, Thomas, I just have to say that, I mean, we've had this discussion before, but every time you don't give in to that negative thinking and talking, and by going on camera and doing it anyway, you know what I mean? Like you're telling that stupid part of your brain to shut the fuck up. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. And I've been more willing to do it with the camera angle, and I just can't have an even if I was more comfortable, I would find it really intrusive. So I have to have something where I'm not paying attention to it and it's not a distraction.
Okay.
Because that way it goes back to what we're going to talk about. They peddle these distraction politics things.
Yep.
And not talk about real issues.
Yep.
Because
exactly.
they're just scumbags.
Yeah, and anything to hurt people too. That's the other thing. It's all about hurting and dividing people. Never about encouraging, understanding. You know what I mean? Never, ever. So I just can't stand the whole. The anti-gay bullshit. Of course, being gay and having been affected by it when I was a kid. I mean, I grew up in the Catholic Church. As you guys know, my mother was a nun. Not that she was a nun at the time, but my family was religious, and I remember going to church, and the priest going on about gays, and because there was a show called Soap. That was a big deal at the time.
I love that show.
Yeah.
I love that show.
And it had the first gay character on television, and Billy Crystal played him. And I was a kid. And all of my friends, and I mean, I was I don't remember, but in elementary school, and all of my friends were watching this show, and they would come in and laugh and say, "Oh, it was great," and they would talk about it. And they weren't mocking Billy Crystal either. But it was just like a funny show that had all kinds of characters in it. And the church distributed leaflets when we were, going to church, and after church, going out, here's a leaflet. Don't let your kids watch soap. And so I wasn't allowed to watch it. And I didn't understand why. And I had a little black and white TV in my room. And the day soap was coming on or whatever, another week it was on. I was like, okay, good night. I'm going to bed, right? And I went up was trying to sneak and watch it. And I had the lights out, and I put a towel over the TV, and I was like and I put the TV on. It was like a little click. It was like, and my father slammed open the door. He's like, they were watching that soap. He started screaming at me, turn that TV off. And I never got to watch it. But it didn't stop me from being gay. All it did was, I didn't understand at the time either. I didn't know I was gay. I didn't realize, whatever. What is gay? What the hell does that mean? Because I remember the priest, I remember them talking about gay. And I remember thinking, all these people, who are these gays? If I ever met one of these gays, what I'm going to do, you know what I mean? And then I was like, holy shit, they're talking about me. I remember when I got a little older, it was like, and then I decided that I would never, ever, ever tell anybody. And it was just horrible that way. And I hated myself. Make a long story short.
I was a lot of the same way. I was very self-hating. I had other issues with it, and they weren't suicidal to that point, but they were bad. And it was never it was never somebody said something to me or did something to me. It was all those self-inflicted wounds where you would bring about yourself, how I I've been trying not to talk down about myself and everything else.
It's a habit. You have to stop. You have to stop.
Yeah. And it's hard when your self-esteem levels are difficult. And I can only imagine what these trans kids are going through.
Forget it. Yeah.
Who realize
exactly
that they're trans right now.
Yep.
And
exactly.
they can't talk about it with a mentor or with another student. What happens if this bill in Florida is so fucking vague?
Yeah,
Tara,
I know. Well, that's deliberate. That's a fascist tactic. That's what fascism is. They make ubiquitous, vague laws, and then they selectively enforce them. So yeah, that's a deliberate fascist tactic. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're absolutely right, and they make this so the point I was getting to was I fear the students talking in the corner and then being eavesdropped by that fascist teacher because they do exist. Some of them are batshit crazy. Unfortunately.
Right, of course.
And being spied upon and then brought to their parents.
Yes.
So maybe it's something in confidence that gets overheard.
Exactly.
And because, again, it's so vague.
Right.
That anything can happen, and it's going to do more harm than good.
Of course it will. Of course.
And the only thing that I've seen good out of it is these TikTok videos of the kids saying, screaming about fascists and everything.
Right.
That has been the only silver lining of this. The kids know.
You're right.
They're not dumb.
Right. Well, that's the difference, actually. Now that when you're saying it, we have come a long way. That's the difference. The kids today, they're not going along with it. If this was when I was a kid, don't watch soap. All the kids were anti-gay too. Nobody wanted to be gay. That's for sure. So it wasn't this is, gay's okay or whatever the hell. There were no gay straight alliances, but that's the difference because kids today are like, fuck this. This is fascism. We're not going to, I'm sure there are some right-wingers, assholes, of course, but most not children, but young people are they're not homophobic, they're not racist, they're not buying the bullshit anymore.
And kids today, having one, I know this, they're very self-aware. My daughter was very self-aware at an early age about who she was and what she wanted to be, and it's not this I want to be an astronaut type of bullshit either, you know.
What the fuck is wrong with that? Look at you, what a supportive father. Yeah, what are you bullshit? What if she really wants to be an astronaut? I'm just kidding.
Am an asshole, but you know, it's not the pie in the sky thing,
right?
You know, or I want a pony or whatever. You're not gonna get a pony. Sorry, it's just not gonna happen.
All right, stop crushing her dreams. I hope she's not watching this.
I have a smart childhood, and but it's these kids are really aware of their surroundings. Like, they don't want guns in school. They want gun laws.
Right.
They these things, and that's why I'm so hopeful, Tara.
Yeah, that's true.
Because if we can have kids that are self-aware and figuring it out and knowing that this is wrong, maybe in the long run the jig is up on the Republicans.
Oh, it is. It definitely is. I mean, it didn't really cross my mind until we were talking about it, about how kids, you know, the difference is that the kids aren't buying it. They're not like, oh yeah, shh, everybody don't say gay. Yeah, it's bad. They're like, fuck this. And they know the game. They see right through this game. And DeSantis and the Republican Party, they understand that. That's why they're fascist, of course. And this is why they're going after voting all over the country, because, you know, they hate democracy. And they know their days are numbered. Right?
And that video that we had of DeSantis having his mask hole moment, where he berated the college kids, I did notice that some of them stood up to DeSantis and kept their masks on anyway.
Yep.
And that is
exactly,
a strong act
exactly.
Of
Right. Well, it's just another example of what hypocrites they are. Get those masks off. We don't want enough of this theater, he's saying. The same fucking
COVID theater.
Yeah. The same asshole who, I mean, not only we could talk about the theater, he, with COVID, sending people to the monoclonal antibody clinics that his friend was making buku bucks off, with the Omicron variant that it didn't have any effect on that variant. So it was, you want to talk about a theater, but he's the same asshole who put out that ad of him reading bedtime stories, Trump fucking bedtime stories to his baby, you know, and build that wall. You want to talk about theater? That's all Republicans have. They don't have anything else.
Right. And they don't like even this People's Convoy thing. I had this video that I didn't get a chance to do this morning. I'll do it tomorrow. About Ted Cruz saying how much the airline pilots come up and hug him and they love him and they're all
what? Wait. The airline pilots?
Yeah, the airline pilots and the stewardesses all love him because they tell him every time he's flying United from Houston to DC, and don't forget Acapulco too.
You mean Cancun? Yeah.
Cancun. Wrong. I was in the right.
Yeah.
Right,
well, we know what you mean.
Every time they come up to him, there's not a day goes by that he's told what a great job he's doing.
Fuck
what
him.
job? What job though?
That's like
what
Trump.
Is he doing other than showboating?
He does a podcast, and he gets paid. I mean, what do senators get paid? $170,000 or something.
Plus pension.
Yeah.
Don't forget the pension.
Oh yeah, and they get health care, pension. Mm-hmm. They get all the keys to the kingdom. These fuckers, and. He's encouraging these morons to what are they protesting? We did this the other day on Monday. We did the show. We were talking about the the protests, the trucker tantrum. It's nothing. I mean, it's like all of their grievances it's like when
I think I saw even in one report that they were angry over the HBO show Dysphoria. They were mad over a dysphoria.
No, you mean Euphoria.
Euphoria, dysphoria. My God,
Dysphoria,
sorry.
Euphoria, Cancun, Acapulco, whatever.
I'm showing my lack of sleep. I apologize. The Euphoria show, they were apparently mad at.
Why? Because there's gay. I never watched it. Is there gay people in it?
Yeah, and it has drug use, and it's about high school kids, and it's supposed to be
on cable.
It's supposed to be good.
All right.
But I haven't seen it, and I couldn't comment any more than seeing the post about the truckers being mad about it. So it has to be grade A.
Of course. It's probably an awesome show that has, the human experience in it, and they can't fucking handle it. So, yeah. It doesn't have some cowboy, I don't know, like, what do they like?
Yeah.
What do they like? What kind of shows? Oh, they want Touched by an Angel, I guess? Is that it? Or you can have your Touched by an Angel.
Yeah,
shut the fuck up.
I just
everything they're so easily triggered, and that's why they're ridiculous.
And the sad thing is even the ones that you think are going to be the good guys, right?
Who?
I don't
Republicans.
Think. And I'm getting to the point
tell
where
me
you
which
are.
is a good guy. I'm
getting to the point where you are, where I don't think there are any left.
Well, that's
like there's
that's
always
why I'm
like
asking. Are there good guys?
I want to actually bring this up with you because
Okay.
I don't like talk. We just had a guest on.
I have a crick in my neck. That's why I'm doing this.
It's okay.
I'm just letting them know. The people know that.
We just had Rick Schmidt on the show.
Mm-hmm.
He was a great union guy. I really love him. He's on FY Nation weeknights. Great live show. But he works with the Lincoln Project.
Okay.
And that bugs me.
Why?
I mean, I know the Lincoln Project right now is doing good work, but they're all former Republicans.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I don't trust. I can't bring myself to trust it fully. To me, if I would, and this is where I'm curious on your opinion. To me, if they were becoming like Charlie Crist, he became a Democrat, and Mike Bloomberg, they became a Democrat, I'd be more comfortable with that than I am with some Republican group supporting Democrat. It just rubs me the wrong way. Am I going a little bit? Or do you see where I'm going?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know the whole story of the Lincoln Project. I know that there were some infighting with them. I have no idea. There were some, whatever. I don't know. And some of them quit. And whatever. I appreciate the videos they make. They're, for example, Steve Schmidt. Is he still involved with that? Steve Schmidt?
I'm not sure.
Was he one of them who quit? But
I think he was one of them.
Yeah, but he registered as a Democrat.
Yeah,
so.
And I'm okay with that. That part of it I'm okay with. I'm all for a Big Tent. I believe that can enhance our discourse.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm worried about my spidey sense goes off, and I wonder what's the grift that they're doing. And how stupid do they think we are?
Well,
and that makes that like pinches a nerve. You know what I mean, Tara?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's because of my transformation from being a former conservative, and then I went to libertarian, and then I became a corporatist Democrat, and then I became a democratic socialist. I had a big
damn. That is a real journey.
But it wasn't overnight, and I can understand where if they were doing that, I would be far more supportive than okay. We'll go back to the Republicans and be like Mitt Romney and John McCain in a few years. Their policies are still crap.
Well, they're I mean, they're just corporatists. So if they I'm sure Steve Schmidt is a corporatist. He would be in the Hillary Clinton wing of the Republican Party. I mean, of the Democratic Party. So yeah, and the Bill Clinton. I mean, to me,
and they rub me equally the wrong way. But
Yeah.
I'll support them over a
Of
Republican
course.
any day.
Yeah, I mean, I support Democrats. I vote for Democrats because as frustrating as they are, they don't let you starve in the streets, and they're not an anti-democratic, small d Democratic Party ultimately, and that their behavior speaks to that. They're not.
Yes.
They don't. When they lose elections, they're not out there trying to come up with ways to ensure that Republicans don't vote. They're, in fact, it's when they lose elections, their remedy is usually we need to be more Republican. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's they're goddamn exhausting like that.
Exactly.
So yeah, but I don't know. I mean, Lincoln I can't really talk about it because I don't.
Because it goes back to like this whole "don't say gay" thing that we were talking about. There were only 2 Republican senators in the whole bunch of the Senate that voted with the Democratic Party. All the Democrat people voted for not passing the bill. There were only 2 Republicans that actually stood up with the kids and actually did the right thing and bolted the party. But my thing is, how much are they going to pay for that? And are they going to get reelected or primaried by some Trump NC?
Well, I don't. I mean, Thomas, I'm not sure. Are we talking about the Lincoln Project still?
No, but I mean, like how even Republicans will make a move, the smart move, every once in a while, and vote against the "Don't Say Gay" bill. But they're still Republicans, is the point that I'm making.
Yes.
Either way, and they'll ride the rest of the wave with the Republicans.
Yes,
and
of course.
They won't stand up. Wait till the next time where they don't stand up for the little guy or unions or something like this.
Of course.
They did the good job on the LGBT issue, which is great, but they're still Republican.
There must be. I have no idea. Anybody, in fact, in my opinion, anybody who supports Trump, I mean, all of the Republicans, in my opinion, are irredeemable for the mere fact that they voted for that goddamn racist piece of dirt known as the so-called president. I mean, I hate that. I mean, that just says everything about them. If you want to know somebody, look at their friends. Look at who they admire. Who are their heroes? Who do they want to put in positions of power? Say everything that you can about the Democrats, and we do, but for a fact somebody like Trump would never become the Democratic Party standard bearer. He would have been. It would never have happened.
There would have been a revolt.
Yeah, the minute he started calling Mexicans rapists, that would have been it. Yeah. And it's because all Americans, all actual patriots, which Republicans are not, should have seen that and recoiled from it. As if from a hot flame, because of the fascist divisive
and not only
element.
that, and you're absolutely right. This past weekend when CPAC happened, there was also AFPAC. I don't know if the far right, they're trying to go mainstream, but never will. Nick Fuentes had Marjorie Taylor Greene on.
That's the wait a minute. For people who don't know what AFPAC is, you got to explain it.
Sure. AFPAC is basically the far right answer to CPAC.
Okay.
They are trying to do.
CPAC isn't right enough for them, even though they're
it's kind of like OANN of the PACs. They are more extreme. Is
that the White Nationalist Conference or the Nazi Conference? Okay,
the Nazi Conference. That's exactly it. But they're trying to go mainstream, and their level of mainstream is let's invite Marjorie Taylor Greene because that's who they could get, and Paul Gosar. That's who they could get. by the way, all they got as punishment for going was having to talk to Kevin McCarthy. Although one could argue that is a mighty big fucking punishment.
Wait a minute. Talk to, but all right.
Like a talking to. They got dressed down by Kevin McCarthy.
No, they didn't get dressed down. He said he talked to them. There are no consequences.
Well,
for
that's
them.
what I was getting to.
Yeah,
That there was, even if they talk to it's a wink and a nod, and it's
exactly.
Why did you get caught?
Right. It's like, don't bother me with this bull. Like, where is this actually? I had one of those videos of him because they asked him. You know, they do that Republican, and Nancy Pelosi does her thing and he does his thing every day. I'm not sure if it's every day, but. And they were asking him about it. And they said, any updates on Gosar and Greene? McCarthy's like, I talked to Greene. Reporter says, and? I talked to them. Yeah. Any repercussions? My conversations with my members are exactly that. You said you would return them to their committee. You stand by that? I talked to them. This is who they are. They fucking suck. They hate democracy. We're a multiracial democratic republic. They hate that. That's why they're, go ahead. Sorry. You're in the middle of something?
Back to your point, that, and they're infighting right now. The
far right explode.
The far right is infighting over Marjorie Taylor Greene.
They're all the far right, though. I mean,
no, I agree with you, but there are levels. It's kind of like a pyramid scheme, and you have the pyramid, and you have Trump at the top, and you have people like Nick Fuentes at the very bottom of the grift pyramid.
Who's Nick Fuentes?
He is the guy who runs AFPAC.
Okay.
And Nick Fuentes is mad at I want to get his name right. I think it's Steve Peters is a far right host, and he was banned off of Spotify. That's how right wing he is.
Okay.
He was kicked off of Spotify, and he has his producer who is running, and I don't remember her name, is running for Delaware Senate,
Mm-hmm.
and she had to get on Twitter and release a video tearfully apologizing to Nick Fuentes.
Why?
Because her boss went off on Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Okay.
And it's like they're all trying to eat out of the same.
They're disgusting.
Fight over it. It's worse than high school. It's like it's like a really bad episode of Euphoria.
Euphoria. You didn't even watch the show. I never watched the show. It's a bad episode.
A bad episode.
Who knows? I mean, how can you say that? We haven't even watched it. Jeez. But anyway.
I'm a critical person here. I'm a very critical
Will
person.
you talk for like 2 minutes? Because I have to put the cat, my little
talk.
producer, in the bedroom because he's getting crazy again.
Sure. No, I'm more than happy to. So the whole thing with AFPAC that's going on, and by the way, Tom Reynolds, FYNation.com, and Tara is amazing to have me on. But the whole thing with AFPAC is basically they're having this little fight over Marjorie Taylor Greene because she is now seen as an elitist. I know. I shit you not. We talk about elitism with like Mitch McConnell, but to the far right, this little enclave of bullshitters and grifters, Marjorie Taylor Greene is like the elite now. And
why?
And it's like
she's
like
the elite.
She's the queen bee of the mini grift, and it's so fascinating to watch.
They're so gross.
You know,
mm-hmm.
it is, but it's fascinating to watch these people eat each other alive.
I'm happy about that. Let them. And I hope they all eat each other.
It's so bad, Tara. We did this video on. I know the point I was getting to. We did this video that Steve Peters had Neil Kumar on, who is running for a political office. He's a Republican.
Steve Peters?
He's the guy from Spotify.
Okay, you gotta explain these things. You just talk about things that like I don't know who these people are, and I'm assuming that they don't know, or some people don't know.
is the talk radio host who got kicked off of Spotify that we mentioned earlier.
Steve Peters.
He had Neil Kumar on, who's running for what I don't remember, but he's running for representative or something. And this dude hates Marjorie Taylor Greene, and he had him on the show. And I kid you not, I was like, after watching the video with the audience, I was feeling bad for Marjorie Taylor Greene for the pure sexist.
You're feeling bad for her?
Yes,
what?
for the like these are. It goes back to what you're talking about. These are the people she hangs out with and wants to get street cred from, and these are her people. And yet, some of them who don't like her treat her worse than any Democratic person would. Is my point.
Of course.
I mean, we kind of
we
poke fun, and I call her Marjorie Taylor Greene, but that's about the extent of it. These people are talking about how she's lying on her back and an adulteress.
They're all disgusting. I mean, this is who they hang out with. You know what I mean? This is who they are. So, okay, good. She lays down with dogs and she gets up with two toes and flees. What?
Where I was going with this, though, Tara, is it goes back to your earlier point. Reflects to who they hang out with. Marjorie Taylor Greene is the little budding Republican now, whether it's on the far right side or the not so far right side, and she's getting clout and she's fundraising and making money. And these people, whether we like it or not, find something redeemable in her. I have no idea.
Because they're all her, you know? They like her because she is them, and they're looking in the mirror, and they need a validation. Well, they need the power structure to validate their bigotries and their races and all of their various forms of bigotry and ignorance, really.
And the man who opened that door is that orange menace you were talking about earlier.
But it was already opened. It was opened already. He was not. He's the symptom. Of course he was. What are you talking about?
When I say opened, I should be more clear. Swung open like a battering ram.
Yeah, well,
to give a pass to any of these people like Nick Fuentes of AFPAC to become mainstream and give them a pass because, then they're victims if the press gets on top of them about anything they said in the past. Now they can play the victim card because Trump is a victim.
But they've always been victims. Thomas,
no, I agree.
That's part of the fascist.
I'm just saying. I'm agreeing with you.
I know you are. I'm just saying. We're having a conversation.
What has happened is it's been amplified because of Donald Trump from the Republican Party that I knew in the 90s and everything else. It was always bad.
It was always bad. Exactly.
But now it's worse. And the pass goes to be able to get the thing, like those two Democrats who voted for the Don't Say Gay bill. I bet they'll still vote for Ron DeSantis if he runs for governor in Florida.
Democrats voted?
Republicans.
Oh, okay.
Republicans who voted with the Democrats. I'm agitated.
I don't know why. I mean, I'm sure for whatever reason they voted with the Democrats. There must be some reason for their own, political survival, of course.
Yeah.
But because if it benefited them to do the other, you know what I mean. They don't do the right thing for its own sake. So
no, you're absolutely right, but the point still remains exactly what you said. On the grifter pyramid, they're still going to go to the top banana, which is Ron DeSantis in the long run. So they did a good thing. Applaud for it. It's like when Mitt Romney says something nice,
I know,
or correct. The whole media landscape genuflects.
I know, as if he's so brave.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing that frustrates me because we shouldn't be, and this is why I'm so agitated, is we give these people a fucking pass all the time. And
I don't give.
also,
I know. This is part of the media,
let
the
me
corporate.
rephrase that. By we, I mean corporate media gives them a pass. I know you don't. I know there
We're
are some good
talking.
ones.
We're talking. This is a conversation. My God.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I want to be clear too. In my little bit of a haze. Uh, these people, I just love to do the distraction politics. They love to do the grift, and they, very worst case scenario, they're gonna fundraise off of this and get more money from the anti-gays. Like Greg Abbott got these $675,000 to his campaign to do that trans hate order that he did. They said to Greg Abbott, "You're not being far right enough for us. We know you don't. We know you're going to win anyway, but we're going to dangle this in front of you to make you do this, and we're going to give it to somebody else if you don't."
It's disgusting.
And he took it anyway. That shows, one, the cowardice,
Yes.
and two, the just complete immorality of these people, and why you and responsible liberals and progressives cannot work with these people.
Right.
And you have to take a stand and do what Rick Smith said: win, constantly win for the Democratic Party, because that's the only way we can fight them. And I don't care if it's a Joe Biden Democrat or a Bernie Sanders Democrat. It's a Democrat, and God damn it, I'll fight for them a hell of a lot more than any time a Republican like, Liz Cheney. She's right on the January 6th issue. But how many fucking issues is she wrong on?
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yep. I know. And that's why the Democrats are infuriating, because they give Republicans a pass all the time. The corporate media does, and they're still doing it. And one of the headlines I saw today on Washington Post about how Republicans have changed their tune on Putin. They're united with Democrats against Putin. Bullshit. All of the sudden, now, because they stuck their fingers in the air and they saw the way the wind was blowing. And they know that the American people and that the Ukrainian people are fighting for democracy, and that it's stirring the other, democratic people of the world. And in comparison, the Republicans are looking like the petty little whiny little bitches that they are. And also Putin, his puppet Trump, going out there try say, I got a lot of heat for saying that Putin's a genius. He's a genius. I say it. He's savvy. He's a genius, right? And then, so, of course, this isn't going over well. So now they're changing their tune. And Trump actually said, where was it? He wants to bomb the shit out of Russia.
Yes, I did that story on the morning show, the Nosey Liberal, where this orange menace just pivots so easily because they have no backbone.
Yes.
Like any politician in the Republican Party, they're all the same.
No,
whether it's
just
Marjorie Taylor Greene or Donald Trump or Eric or you name them. That's why they're so easily prone to the same talking point and everything else. Because they're and I say this on my show, Tara, they're lightweights trying to be heavyweights.
They have no business being anywhere near the halls of power. The only reason they are in office is because of the broken system. They suck on the broken government teat. They like the money in politics. That's why every chance they get, they try to corrupt it more. Because there's no reason for them to get in government other than to rig it for their pals and to suck on the government teat. That's it, forever and ever, amen. Because they're that underwhelming, and that's why every now and then they have to do the right thing. So now they're saying that Russia sucks. I mean, here's from where is this from? The New Republic. Daniel Strauss writes, so now Trump wants to bomb the shit out of Russia. Will Republicans ever get wise to this guy? No, they won't. Because this is what they do. And then the media will go along with it. Oh, now Republicans are changing their tune. They're all united against Putin now. Well, these are the same people that voted for the Putin puppet and changed their platform to be more favorable to Putin and didn't vote. They voted against impeaching him for using our money that was supposed to go to Ukrainian defense as his own personal extortion fund. And on and on and on. I mean, there's so many examples allowing these Russian spies into the White House and taking didn't he take a soccer ball from Putin that had a microchip in it? And meeting with Putin secretly and confiscating the transcript. I hate the Republicans just for that alone. The hypocrisy.
And that's the thing. When I get on with you, I get much more empowered about how I'm gonna. And I wish I could do this more on my own show, because I'm always on my own show trying to struggle to have a conversation with everybody and be welcoming. But there's a point where
welcoming to who?
It is laughable. You can't be welcoming
to traitors.
Welcoming people who are traitors, welcoming to people who are willing to say don't say gay, and
exactly.
willing to be okay with the next trans kid who commits suicide.
That's it. That's what they are. They are good with that.
They're willing to go to war for no reason whatsoever,
right.
And then say we have to talk tough on Putin. Well, I'm sorry. This guy is doing literally what George W. Bush did with Iraq, and he's the pariah, rightly so. Where was all that outrage to George?
That's a different story. Yeah,
if you were going after W during the Iraq days, you know?
Yeah,
and that's bullshit.
Well, it's because I mean that's a whole other story.
The way it makes me so pissed, Tara. The way they are willing, just enablers of people like Putin and people like she and they love it.
Yeah.
I mean, Trump has love letters to Kim Jong-un.
I know.
And it's so infuriating. And I try to be reasonable with him because I was one. And then I got to remind myself, I was never like that. As bad as I was never like that. I still wanted humanity to do better and have health care and be able to, have a humane existence, whoever they were. So I can't fathom that Republican who is just like, I hate you because you're gay, or I can't tolerate you because you're black, or, and all of a sudden it changes and they pivot, like you said with Putin. It's monumental sized bullshit.
Right.
What they are allowed to get away with by the corporate media. And then, I know you watch them and I know you like them to a point, but even Joe Scarborough.
I don't like him. What are you talking about? I watch fucking Morning Joe. It doesn't mean I like him.
Okay, fair enough. I put words in your mouth.
I know you like him. What are you talking about? What?
You enjoy to watch the.
That's kind of show. Yeah. I watch it in the morning when I'm drinking my fucking coffee. So yeah.
Fair enough. I misspoke. Don't hate like
it's fine.
Just
go. Keep going. Keep fucking going.
The point is with Morning Joe, he was a former Republican. He did all those things that we as the Democratic side bash. And just because he is not Michael Savage from far-right radio and being a complete Nazi on the TV, where Michael Savage was once on MSNBC. MSNBC hired Michael Savage, and he got taken off the air abruptly because he made a comment about a gay man having AIDS or something to do with AIDS, and he was
I don't know what you're
taking calls
talking
on
about.
the air.
What?
Michael Savage, he's
Okay.
a right-wing host.
Yes.
And he doesn't get a pass. But Joe Scarborough, who's happy to sleep with the enemy and vote with them too.
Who are you talking
able to
about?
get-
You're talking about Joe Scarborough sleeping with Mika Brzezinski, the enemy?
No, the enemy as far as Republicans.
Oh.
It's been this bad. The point I'm trying to make is the way they are able in some cases to get away with it and then pat themselves on the back when they do a good thing, like Michael Savage, who shouldn't have been on MSNBC in the first place or ever had a job because they knew what they were getting.
Okay.
They knew.
Thomas, I don't mean to interrupt, but I don't know what you're talking about. Michael Savage was on Morning Joe, you're saying?
No, he used
Okay.
to be a host on MSNBC.
Oh, okay.
And
I'm sorry.
what my point is, the pass that corporate media takes when they want to pivot to a certain way, they give these Republicans a pass, whether it be
Of
Joe
course.
Scarborough, who seems redeemable. That's my point. Michael Savage will stay on Newsmax or OAM because he's not redeemable and never should
Yeah,
be.
and
But
he
the
isn't.
same
Exactly.
same token is, I don't believe in the same sense that Joe Scarborough is more
there's
redeemable.
like you're saying that, there's levels. Joe Scarborough is not a full-on fascist. I mean, in my
True.
opinion,
No, yeah.
he doesn't like Trump. He's, he had his limit. But in my, I agree. Republicans, they get a pass because they still voted for the same guy that went out there and said he was going to make a constitutional amendment against people, of the same peepees having a marriage contract, shit like that. So, which is, it's disgusting. So, and the Republicans, they don't give a shit. They do it to stir up division in the country, and that's it.
And I apologize a little bit, Tara, because this is pent up outrage that I've had.
Yeah, but you got to explain it. I understand you're outraged. I'm outraged
because,
too. But we're doing, people have to understand what we're talking. If I don't know what you're talking about, I'm just
what
trying
gets
to.
me is what gets me is the outright ability for these people to just grift on by and to get away with stuff, and this hurts my heart, Tara, these bills, because I know that some kid is going to commit suicide over this.
Of course,
and
they already have. I'm sure. Mm-hmm.
And it's.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying not to tear up, actually, because
it's okay.
And maybe I low information or whatever, but I don't understand how you could hate somebody that much that you don't even know.
Well, it's a tactic. That's because that's why they're evil. There are some idiots out there that think their ancient book of fables is telling them to hate people. And then you have the Republican establishment who know that they're entreating to these people by tickling their bigotries. And so they're evil. Like Dick Cheney couldn't give a shit about gay people. But yet, there he is with in an administration pushing for a constitutional amendment. So, everyone is expendable when it comes down to power, concentrated money and power. And that's what it's about. It's about destroying the constitutionally limited democratic republic so the rich can rule, just like the system the founders rebelled against. And they can't do it if the people are unified.
And the point I was trying to make earlier about Michael Savage, which I didn't explain as well as I should have, was he was a far-right guy. And MSNBC knew what they were going to get. And they wanted that kind of firebrand, but I don't think they realized how bad it actually was. And to the point where they had to literally cut him while he was on the air off the TV because of how he behaved. And that's why I'm so hard on MSNBC, because you can't trust even the corporate media.
You can't. They're the corporate fucking media. I mean, they have an agenda.
You know, I mean, and CNN is no better, because look how long they had Rick Santorum on, the former senator, the Mr. Don't Hate Gay himself, on
don't say
as
gay.
a contributor.
No, I know. That's what I mean. It's like they are, see, the corporate media they want a kinder, gentler kind of fascism. You know what I mean? They didn't like the chaos of Trump, but if it came down to it, you know, they take it. They'll take the concentrated wealth and the money and power, and that's it. And that's why whenever we saw what happened with the Bernie Sanders campaign on the corporate media. They eviscerated him on a daily basis, and they never ever explain. They just go after socialism, and they never explain what it is. You know, because they want the people to be as confused as the idiots who think that gay people are, grooming their children by merely existing. And spreading more. I mean, that whole thing with grooming.
And to add to that, straight men are just itching to pretend to be a woman to go into a girl's bathroom and look up the dress of somebody. I mean, come on.
Well, I mean, they're sick.
I think there's been one reported case that I know about that I could think of offhand that actually happened, and that's only because it was recent. And it's usually bullshit.
Of what? An example of what?
Of somebody pretending to be a girl to go into a bathroom to look up.
Where was this?
At girls. I saw it on
some fucking cesspool, right-wing cesspool, probably.
Yeah,
of course. There was some
because
you can't just say that. You have to give me a because I want to know, is this true or not?
Well, it was widely reported enough where that incident was true because the guy was arrested for what he was doing.
Well, I know that there was an incident of someone who, it wasn't a man trying to look up somebody's dress. They were on the run from the cops, and they were like, the cops were trying to catch this person, and they were like mentally ill, and this person ended up grabbing clothes off a clothesline, and he put on some.
No, that wasn't it.
And then the Republican, and I saw on Reddit, they were like, man dresses as woman to, and it was a complete canard. It had nothing to do with anyone.
That's all. That's what they always do with their narrative, though, Tara. Look at the whole issue with guns. You find one guy who saves his family and to stand his ground, and you think everybody with a gun is a hero.
Who did that? Yeah, I mean, they'll have some fucking you can just Google a good guy with a gun, and you'll see all of the mishaps of people acting like assholes. I saw some guy, shooting in a road rage incident, like shooting into somebody's car. And then there was another one. They said, it was somebody, it was a good guy with a gun. He heard something over a police scanner, and it said, be on the lookout for such and such a vehicle. And he ended up chasing down a van that had people, of course, with darker pigment in it, but it had no relation to the description that was put out. It was like a completely different car, completely different color, type of car. It wasn't even a car, it was a van. It was this and this idiot went and started shooting at them. So yeah, I mean, shit like that. But,
but that's what but they'll constantly try to make their narrative better. Like the story that we did this morning. There was this road that's trying to be built in Alaska, and it's to connect a little town with Native Americans and about 1,000 people population, and to the mainland, which is about 60 miles away. It's a not a dirt road, but a gravel road, and they want to build it. And Trump gave the okay. Obama kind of thought about it, but Trump gave the okay, and it came over to the Biden administration, and they see because it goes through a refuge, wildlife refuge, that it shouldn't be okayed. Now, I feel
okay. What is this bridge?
I feel bad for the people who can't access the nearest town by road. But if the outrage is this faux thing for the humanitarianism, when there are other ways to get out of the town, they have planes and such like that, and it's like,
I don't know what you. I mean, do you have a link so I can join in the conversation called Tarabuster with Tara Devlin?
Yeah, let me get
it might be good if I know what we're talking about.
It's let me just Native American.
What is it?
I'm just searching for it.
Is it a bridge you're talking about? You did it on your show this morning?
Kings Cove. It's a road. Just bear with me. Let me get the right search.
Okay.
Kings.
Yeah, I don't find anything
I'm
about
I can actually do this on a computer that works now. That's always. Here we go. They're putting it as, and I'll send you the link in the chat. They're making it out to be that environmentalists are putting people's lives at risk, like they have no other way to get out of the town, and it sucks, but the consequences of putting this road into the environment are going to be harsh, and it's like, it is what it is, and the way they smack down environmentalists who are trying to protect nature and keep things right, it just, the whole thing, the way they frame it is
it's always it's like a zero sum game, know. There's no conversation, there's no compromise. I don't know. I have, that's why, I mean, Thomas, that's why I need to know what we're going to talk about, because you go all over the place and I don't know what the fuck you're saying, and I can't, I mean, I'd like to
my ADHD.
Comment on it as well. So, so this is activist, the Washington Free Beacon. I don't know. Is this a right-wing site?
Yes,
but, yeah, of course.
Because we talk on my show, we talk a lot about the narratives and how they go after environmentalists, and they frame the narrative and who they're going after, who the outraged person of the day is, type of thing. And the outrage thing now is to be outraged at the environmentalists.
Well, it's not just that. I mean, they do it. This is nothing new.
Well, and also all of a sudden they're caring now about Native Americans, which they never gave a shit before. But it fits their narrative, is where I'm going.
Of course. But I mean, everything is about how liberals are doing something, and everybody, and that's just so fucked up. And if everybody, obviously liberals are the worst, and they're the problem, and there's no, I mean, forget about democracy. There's none of, I mean, environmental, what is this? Activists put birds above the largely Native American population that needs a road out of town. Okay, puts birds? Well, let's talk about it. What do you mean? There's a whole, there's a whole cycle of life. There's a balance. That's why, the fucking, what's her face? Sarah Palin, I remember her. They always do this. They go on about, oh yeah, they want to save the something spider or something. Well, you know what, bitch? If the spider goes, then that means the mosquitoes come back, and then the malaria gets spread and all this, it's like there's a balance. That's why you don't just willy-nilly and unconsciously fuck up the environment. But I know what you're saying. I know what you mean. Okay.
Yeah, and that it goes to the whole narrative about what you got to be outraged, who you got to be outraged at, and it goes to they're just trying to protect the Native Americans, and they're trying to have the little people get a road out of town. It goes back to like the don't say gay thing. We're just trying to protect the children, aren't we?
Yes, well, that's it,
the parental rights, the way they frame it, and they frame their narrative to make you outraged for the low information voter to be mad at something that isn't really a thing to be mad at.
Exactly.
And that's how they get away with it, because it goes back to the grit pyramid. The more people they have outraged at, the more they can fundraise off of, and the more they can get rich and fuel their pockets, and just go further and further with it. And it drives me batty that this is allowed to continue, but and it's allowed to continue because unfortunately it works so well, and that makes me even more crazy.
I know. And anyway, Thomas, when can people catch you on FYI Nation?
Well, I'm much more lucid in the morning, thank you.
You're doing fine now. So
9 a.m. till noon, when my computer cooperates. We had some technical issues this morning, but we had some listeners, and you could listen and watch. What I would like people to do, I'm not asking for any money right now. What I need people to do is our FYI Nation channel is to like the channel for the subscribers. Like, if you see a video you like, that's great too for the participation. But watch the videos. We do a lot of right-wing narrative stuff and post it.
So you
for
mean
people to watch.
What channel? Your YouTube channel?
Yes, the FYI Nation YouTube channel.
Okay.
You just type in FYI Nation and you can find it. It's really easy to find, and our graphic comes up. And all we need is more subscribers right now.
Right.
We got to hit 1,000. And we're at 40. We're at 46. It's kind of pathetic.
Well,
so if you like my ramblings, and you want to catch me in the morning,
well, you should. Are you able to? Oh yeah, you have to have a certain amount of subscribers to get
back in the day, we did make the monetization level.
What happened?
But they changed the rules, and we got opted out of it. So we have to do it all over again. Which really hurts, because I thought when I went into this that I'd be able to just start from where I was and go forward.
I know, it's so frustrating.
But, and they changed it, so it is what it is. But our videos, our right-winger videos, I'm concentrating right now on, believe it or not, he is Jesse Waters, Bill O'Reilly's old water boy, is one of the highest-rated news shows on Fox.
It's disgusting.
We are taking the craziest shit clips of people say, and I will say that Tulsi Gabbard seems to be a winner. In that with the views. People love to hate her.
Well, she's a very tedious turncoat, that's for sure. Dumbass.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting for her to get a contributorship at Fox News.
Oh, she will.
Or a weekend show. I feel like she's been on like Fox News like 3 times this past week. It was the State of the Union. It was the other day, and then it was on Tucker Carlson,
right? Or
Jesse Waters, sorry. But the State of the Union coverage she was on with Tucker Carlson. We have this great clip of her with Tucker whining about how they can't access Russia TV anymore.
Right.
I know. It's awesome.
Well, they're traitors. We have the receipts. We have the video. So, all right. Well, Thomas, thank you for coming on the show. I'm ushering you off the show right now because I'm not going to do another 4-hour show. So I'm looking at the time, and I'm going
I had
to
a great
wind
time.
it down a little bit.
I had a great time. Thank you for
Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you for giving me the courage to do this.
Yeah,
by the
of
way.
course. And so that's Thomas's show on FYI Nation in the morning at
Yes,
9 a.m. to
9
noon.
a.m.
The Nosey
So
Liberal.
If you hate watch Morning Joe, you can switch it over to me for some liberal politics after.
Right. That's true. I watch that show. I mean, I watch your show too, or listen to it.
I know. You're one of my biggest supporters, and I love you for it.
Well, thank you. And I love you for supporting this show and Tarabuster. And so everybody has to stick together and go on over. I put the link in the chat. So go to Thomas's FYI Nation YouTube and subscribe so we can get some liberal media out there. You know what I'm saying, G? Do it now. Don't even think about it. Just do it.
I swear to God, I'm a little bit more coherent in the morning.
You're fine. You're fine. But next time you got to
I should have had that link ready because I knew that I kind of might have wanted to talk about it, but I really wanted to concentrate on the Don't Say Gay Bill stuff because it's so tragic. It really is.
Right. I know. All right. Well, let me get out of here. I will get you out of here, and I'm going to start winding down. So, thanks again, Thomas. I'll talk to you later.
Definitely.
All right. Bye-bye. Thomas Reynolds, everyone. The Nosey Liberal. FYINation.com. Whew. I thought I could do a Tarabuster. That was a Thomas Buster. So, next week, like I was saying, we're going to have Tom Hartman. I got to watch it, too. Remember last time? Or was the first time I interviewed him, and I just wouldn't let him get a word in edgewise. I still cringe about that. You know what I mean? You ever have like an embarrassing moment in your life and then you think about it and I go, oh, God, why did I do that? You know what I mean? So, whoo. Okay, so we have another one in the chat. Where in the bill does it say don't say gay? Oh my God. We have to. Isn't this exhausting with these fuckers? Really? I mean, what is the problem with Republicans and their inability to function in a free democratic society where humanity is diverse and we've made many leaps forward. Where is it? Does it say? Where doesn't it say? So everyone's lying, right? Everyone's lying but Ron DeSantis. All of a sudden, we can't discuss anything having to do with race because somebody's triggered. And we're not allowed to say, talk about alternative lifestyles, which is bullshit. Bringing us back. That's what Republicans do. You better believe that when we crawled out of the primordial ooze, there was a fucking conservative amoeba grabbing us and saying, get back here. Get back here. Jimmy Dore is killing it? Killing what? What is he killing? Whatever. Who cares? Here, I wanted to play something. Hold on a second. If I can find it. Yeah, everybody is, we're just making it up, right? But yet, even the way that they defend their abhorrent fascist bills, for example, saying that anyone who's against this bill is pro-grooming. Let's get this straight. Being, no pun intended, but being gay isn't synonymous with being a sexual predator or a pedophile. But that's the fascist confusion that Republicans want to pour into the minds of morons. And there's no coincidence that the suicide rates of young gay people go up when Republicans pull their filthy, divisive, dirty tricks. This had nothing to do with parents, because all of a sudden, parents Parents were evolving. This is about dividing the American people. And you'll never hear, you'll never hear a Republican, encourage their dumbasses to maybe evolve a little, stop being divisive wastes of human DNA. Hold on a second. Grooming. Let me look this up. I had it, but I can't find it. As usual, because the producer's in the bedroom now. Here it is. Governor DeSantis' spokesperson says, don't say gay opponents are groomers. Okay. Christina Pushaw, the press secretary of the fascist Ron DeSantis, who, in case you forgot, where is he? He's the one that's like, build that wall, you little brat bitch. You know my husband, Ron DeSantis. He's a big Trump supporter. Build that wall. And this is where Mr. Trump says, you're fired. I love that part. Meanwhile, here's the reality, as we know, from people who worked for the tax cheating, draft dodging, dictator envying con man with the fake university and the vitamin scam. He's a cowardly little bitch. And he never fired anybody because he doesn't have the balls. He left that to other people. It was too much for his little fragile self. And in fact, all he did was look at swatches all day. And he sucks at business so much. This is why his tacky hotel went under, and he sued his, He sued the accountant of the Trump Taj Mahal because it was hyped as the 8th wonder of the world back in the day. And it was going to be the best, the greatest, the biggest, like nobody's ever seen. And the accountant, who wasn't a fascist flunky, did the numbers for him and said, hey, we're going to be bankrupt. This hotel will be bankrupt within 2 months. Okay? He told, I'm warning you, this hotel, because of your spending, and Trump spent that hotel into a hole that they couldn't dig out of because he sucks at business. Now, I don't say I'm great at business, but that's not my fucking forte, I'm not out there saying I'm the best, I'm the greatest deal maker, I'm the biggest deal, I got the biggest dick, when he's got nothing but as Stormy said, a very underwhelming, smaller than average. Ugh. But, it's all a ruse. And so here we are again with not just don't say gay, it's divide and conquer. Going after trans kids, investigating parents for loving their trans children, trying to give their children a shot at a decent life affirming care for their child who was born. They're born in the wrong body. You want to talk about, that's what happens. That's humanity. And as humanity evolves, what the hell is so scary for these fascists about somebody who's trans? What is so wrong with you? Why do you care about somebody's pee-pee that's not your own? I don't understand. What business is it of yours to investigate? They're investigating parents for giving their children the love they deserve. And there comes the filthy fascist Republican sticking their disgusting big government noses into people's private business, into a family. Oh, I love the family, right? No, they love fascism. There is no difference between the only difference between the fascists in 1930s Germany and the fascists here is opportunity. The environment and opportunity. That's it. You better believe it. It starts with coming down an escalator calling Mexicans rapists, and it ends with camps and shit like this. It ends with people reporting on their fellow Americans. Is your fellow American? Now they're trying to pass bills that if a woman travels outside and goes to another state to get an abortion, they want to pass bills about telling on them. Have your neighbor report them. Here's a bounty of $10,000. These people are sick. And it's all about reporting on people that you claim you're a patriot, and you're reporting. You're setting up a hotline for what? Oh, it's grooming. See, we're back there again because what's old is new again. And it doesn't matter the studies, the reality, how humanity evolves to just be like, whatever, live and let live. It should have been this way all along. But Republicans don't want to let go of their targeted minority groups du jour because they got nothing else. They have nothing. They are the domestic enemies that the founders warned us about. They better believe it. They're domestic terrorists. They are enemies of the people. Anybody calling you want to go on about enemies of the people. Hold on a second. Let me see. DeSantis. Where is that? How come I can't find this? Maybe I didn't spell his name right. DeSantis. That's weird. I was trying to find that ad. Build the wall. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Hold on a second. Oh, you know what I saw? This was on CNN. I'll just play this a little bit. Well, actually, I'm not going to play it. It's someone on CNN, a Ukrainian American whose father is, I think he's in Ukraine and his father is living in Russia. And he is trying to tell his father that, that Russia is bombing Ukraine and that they're killing civilians and targeting hospitals and maternity wards and shit like that. And the father is saying that's fake news. And he just can't believe it because he's a Putin puppet. Like we have the Putin puppets here. No, there is no difference. They buy this bullshit propaganda. And it's pretty goddamn stunning, frankly. But not unexpected. All right, I'm trying to find you guys. Where are you? We got a lot of trolls in the chat. All right. They got nothing. That's what it is. They're afraid, of course. I mean, the whole game is, as we discuss every time we get together, the game is make the rich richer. You can't do that if you have a unified populace, especially if you're trying to have a democratic republic. You need unity. And the Ukrainians are showing the American people what that looks like. But here, to our eternal disgrace, these assholes won't even wear a mask to save one life, right? They don't give a shit about life. They give a shit about power. And the idiots are more than eager to oblige because they are they are racist. That's what it comes down. They're racist, they're bigoted, and they want their so-called leaders to reflect that. They'll buy that, and it's like they sell out the American dream for for autocracy, because they lack the fundamental maturity to function in a democracy. Because it takes a level of maturity. It takes the maturity to understand compromise and live and let live and all the things that they pretend to be all about, which they're not. God. Where is it? Here we go. I'll find it here. I was looking at Malcolm Nance's Twitter feed. That's where I was going to play this video. Proving yet again that Republicans are unfit. Here it is. Okay. This was on Malcolm Nance's feed. Wait, hold on a second. Let me see. That is Safari. Okay, here we go. Look at these two. Now, this is some kind of podcast, I suppose, like kind we're doing here.
Actually, you said our people. What
David
is an
Carlson. And this was retweeted by Malcolm Nance. On immigrants who became American citizens, Republican House candidate Joe Kent said he doesn't agree with the way every American has been created. That's a quote. And lamented, there's no way to go back and retroactively choose the ones we want to keep.
Or what defines an American citizen? What defines America to you?
Look at that little
fascist
U.S.
citizen. That's the easiest way for me. If you're a U.S. citizen, we are fighting for you. That's the most basic. With that becomes, it's not just a privilege. We have to create a culture that makes people understand they have a duty with that citizenship, and that duty, we have to make sure that our institutions are actually worthy of people feeling an obligation and a duty to that citizenship.
What does that mean? What's the duty? To not wear a mask when you're in the middle of a pandemic? If putting a light piece of cloth across your face might save someone's life, instead you scream in their face without it? What's the duty? Okay,
we have to make sure that our institutions are working for the American people. I think that's absolutely
that would be great. Yeah, that's what we call promote the general welfare. When you pay your taxes and then you expect a certain level of civilization, the infrastructure of democracy. That's the price of admission. You pay taxes, and then we don't just fund police and fire and the military. That's the way the Republicans want it, because that's how they concentrate power at the top and keep people divided. But you have schools and you have roads and courts to enforce the laws and the contracts. And you have government telling businesses, no, I'm sorry, you can't hire 9-year-olds. I don't care if their little fingers work better in the machines. No, you can't even hire them at a training wage, Newt Gingrich.
To answer your question, most basically, if you're an American citizen, if you have the right to go legally vote in our system, you're an American. Now, do I agree with the way that every single American has been created? But we can't go. I don't. I don't agree with a lot of the chain migration, a lot of the birthright citizenship that we've had. I think that
birthright citizenship, which is how the founders enshrined it in our Constitution, because we're a nation of immigrants. And they knew that. One of the charges against King George was that he was limiting immigration. Can you believe it? Now these fuckers are like, I don't believe in it. I don't believe in the nation of immigrants, because you're a piece of dirt. who can't function in a democracy because you hate America. Why? Oh, because you're racist. That's what it comes down to. Please prove me wrong. You're not just racist, you're all kinds of bigoted. And half of it is, well, God knows, these closet cases, they abound in the Republican Party. I mean, how a sad bunch of fake humans. But how sad it is for these people to go through their entire lives and be so repressed that because they're afraid. I mean, it's the perfect storm of cowardice with them, because as we know, Republicans are fear-based, they're cowardly. It's all about hierarchy, because the hierarchy saves them from the scary, complex world of others who don't know their place. And it's about their, cowardice. They lack the fundamental courage to live an authentic life. So they would never go up against the rugged individuals, so-called rugged individuals in the Republican Party. Try being a rugged individual in the Republican Party. To them, the rugged individuals are the caricature. That's Putin. He's a rugged individual. He's it's the video that Ted Cruz tweeted out, the Russian propaganda. To them, that's what a rugged individual is. It's a fucking cartoon that doesn't exist, like them. Forget actual humanity. Human beings are complex. We come in all shapes, sizes, and all kinds of PPs, all kinds of persuasions, but we're all trying to have a decent life. Get through this life, this blip of time together. What do Republicans do? They never bring light to a situation. Never. Always confusion, division, fear. Right? If it's not them afraid, they want to make you afraid. Banning books, banning conversations, banning history, banning reality. Oh, because my baby came home. As we played a clip of one of the Republicans saying that he received an email from somebody who said their child came home and said, "Mommy, someone said they didn't like me because I'm white. Mommy, why? Why don't they like me because I'm white?" And that child didn't exist. They just made that shit up. Like they'd make it up, fix the facts around the policy.
Especially going back to the Reagan era with the 1986 Immigration Act, all that, all the different.
This is a candidate.
We probably have not done a very good job of making some Americans. There's no way to go back and retroactively choose which ones we want to keep. So right now, I think it's absolutely key.
Why don't you put them in camps?
Define how you become an American citizen.
Just put some who you don't think are Americans in camps. That's what the Nazis did. Do that. You're just a Nazi. Yeah, I love it. The Republicans always like to criticize FDR for all the, people are still living with above the poverty line. And he's still keeping, FDR's policies still keep millions of Americans out of poverty. Of course, Republicans hate that. But they always point to FDR's internment camps. Such great guy, put people in camp. Republicans, are you kidding me? That if you want to go back in time, it was the fucking conservatives who called for the camps, and then FDR finally relented. That's the time they were living in at the time. There was a lot of, especially around the Japanese, because of racism. Oh, gee. And during World War II, the zeitgeist of what was going on in in World War II was that the Germans had lost their way, whereas the Japanese were, they were a different breed they were a different species. That's why there were many complex reasons why the atomic bomb was dropped, and I could see many sides. One of that was that, of course, the invasion of Japan they were afraid because of what had happened on the island of Saipan, where the Japanese would never surrender. In fact, civilians threw themselves to their death. So the Americans believed that, they would just not ever surrender. On top of the fact that it was also a warning to Russia. And I do believe that the Americans we would never have dropped the bomb on Germany because they're white. So the Japanese in that way were expendable. Oh boy. What else is going on in the chat room? Did I miss? There's a lot of trolls today. God. What a day. What a fucking day. It was like a fucking Thomas Buster. And now it's trolls, haiku troll buster. Well, there was one other thing I wanted to talk about. Where in the bill does it say don't say gay? Point it out to me, because everyone's making it up. Right? We're all just making it up. You could still talk about gays. Really? So why are they talking about grooming? Why are they using this canard? As if being gay is synonymous with pedophilia. That's the underlying message. And, of course, it's bullshit. Because Republicans, they need their canards. They need their bullshit to keep people divided. Oh, here, let me play this video. This dumb bitch. Not this dumb bitch. This other dumb bitch here. Let me see. Here, Senator Ileana Garcia. They're real special Republicans. I don't understand how dumb they are. They have there's an internet, the series of tubes. You can learn a lot of things. You don't have to go down a Q hole. And you don't have to stay in your bubble. You could read the classics. You could take a walk through Pompeii. You can. I do it. I've done it. On Google Earth, you can visit all kinds of amazing sites. Really, you could read the writings of Cicero. But what do Republicans do? They go on their bullshit propaganda outlets, and they get their biases confirmed again and again, where they are told, oh no, you're not racist. Everyone who's calling you a racist is a racist. Oh, it's not don't say gay. It's just, what? You don't say gay? So where does it say don't say gay? Oh, of course it's not going to say don't say gay. It reminds me of when some fucker and asshole, as all these Republicans are, I don't know, this was years ago, having some kind of online conversation with a conservative or fascist, really, and I said, give me one thing that the Republican Party, one policy that the Republican Party have backed and implemented, anything, just one thing that helps the American people, the working class. Just give me one. And she forwarded me something from John Boner's website. He was the speaker at the time. And it said, the jobs bill. because that was what it was called. And I was like, that's not, what is that? Oh, because it says it's the jobs bill, when it was nothing but another tax break to the 1%. Oh, I see, like the healthy skies and the clean air and the clean fucking water, which allows more poisons and parasites into the food. Jesus Christ. What is going on? Troll after troll after troll. Just get them the fuck out of here. I'm sick of them. Not that I'm yelling at you, Haiku. I no strikes and you're out. That's it. Forget it. There's no reason to, engage. They can hang out and listen, but they're morons. And I want to explain to them, you're not patriots, morons. You're not. You're really not. If you're on here because you think you're triggering the libs, you want to drink our tears, case in point, you're not a patriot, asshole. People who want to drink the tears of their fellow Americans are not patriots by definition. See, we don't want to drink your tears, notwithstanding that they don't taste very good. I'm sure they taste like shit. So, the shit that you consume, you are what you eat. But we are trying to ensure that you don't have to needlessly die without health care, or like the rest of the world, or that if you get sick, you don't go bankrupt from it, like in the rest of the world, or that, like some dumbass liberal, when you drink your coffee or your tea, you don't have diarrhea because some dumbass liberal thought it should be inspected. Because that's civilization. Or how about reading? You're on this platform, this window to the world, able to read, because liberals thought that, in order to have a functioning democracy, we needed an educated populace. Reading is not, really, it's kind of a modern invention that we're all able to read. Literacy was for the rich up until the liberal age of enlightenment. And that's what birthed this thing called the United States, where we now I have to explain. The United States is a liberal experiment, the grand experiment in liberal democracy. Not just because the word's in there. It's nothing. There's nothing more progressive than overthrowing a king and an aristocracy that ruled Western civilization for 2,000 fucking years. Now, that you tell me what's conservative about that. You dumb fucking morons. Right? They haiku. Small government, just small enough to fit in every woman's uterus. Because they're fascists. They hate government because they hate democracy. That's what they say. That's what they mean. When Republicans say they hate government, hear this. They hate democracy. That's what they're talking about. Because the government is what the founders fought a revolution. They overthrew the king, and they created this government founded in the liberal age of enlightenment, birthed in those radical ideas that we the people could govern ourselves. And of course, putting aside the hypocrisy of being able to write, all men are created equal, because the founders were people of their time. But the more we get closer to actualizing those the promises for all, that's when they can't handle it. You know, if we were back in the day where when all men are created equal, and that meant white men, straight acting white men with property, then they can handle it. Trust me, that's who they are. That's why they don't know the difference between a fascist and a small d Democrat, because they're fascist in their hearts. They can't help it. Just like I'm a progressive in my heart. I can't help it. That's who I am. I mean, as I grew up, when I was younger, I didn't know. You learn as you go on. You learn things. You get educated. Or at least normal people do, not Republicans. But I thought when I first registered to vote, I registered as an independent because I was a low information voter at the time. I didn't know that much. And I thought, well, I'll just vote for the people I think are doing the best or promise the best or whatever the hell. And then I realized as I became more politically aware and historically aware, I realized, oh, well, the bigger picture here. I saw the game. I took the red pill. Oh, it's not about wearing masks, you tedious bores. It's about the red pill it's the oldest game in the book. Make the rich richer. Divide and conquer, especially along racial lines. That's it. And it's not about teaching critical race theory. That's what divides us. We're teaching people to hate America. No, bitch, you hate America. That's why you don't want to look at America and all of her flaws. But that's what adults do. In order to have a better country, to make as adults do, when you get older, I'll talk about myself, being in recovery. Like being an addict in recovery, I had to look at myself. What's working? What's not working? It doesn't mean I go around saying, I'm the best, I'm the greatest, I know it all, I never had a bad fucking day or a bad idea. Like your dim leader did. I mean, just right there. To be so stupid to fall for the con man's grift because he allows you to be as dumb as you are. And that's what you get out of it. That's what they get out of it. They get out of it the validation that they never have to feel the uncomfortability of adulting. It's hard work growing up. You want to be successful, though, you have to look at the good and the bad. You take that inventory. That's what a business does. I thought you're such great business fuckers. You certainly like getting down and filleting a business, but that's why you hate government, right? But you love white men, rich white men, grifting. It's amazing. I don't know. I was going to say again, I don't know why. It's because you're racist. It really does come down to that. Scratch the surface. They are racist. And they will slit their own throats if it gives them some kind of false security of the hierarchy. That's why they love Candace Owens. She's a fucking grifter, that bitch. She really is. She tried the progressive thing, but she failed. And because there's no money in it. We don't have big billionaires that are funding progressives because we're not doing their bidding. You people are slaves. They're like, oh, we're free because we don't give a shit about anybody else but ourselves. You're not free, honey. You're a dupe. You're stupid. You're a pawn, a useless idiot. You're not free. How free are you if you have a asshole who's like, build the wall, who puts on a show? Yeah, there's a guy, Ron DeSantis, he went to he's Ivy League educated, just like Josh Hawley. You got to know they know better. But that's because they don't give a shit about democracy. There's no altruism in their actions. They hate democracy. They hate America. They want power and money for themselves and their pals. Forget the more perfect union. These fuckers, they're so dumb. Get off of the QAnon website, wherever the hell you are, whatever cesspool you're in, and go and explore other countries, the happiest places on earth. Why are they successful? Why are they happy? Oh, we can't do that here. We're too big. That's what they say, dummies. Oh, but we can have socialist security, though, right? Socialist security, the most popular government program. Never missed a check. Keeps millions out of poverty. It's an insurance program. Nobody wants to touch it, even though nobody wants Republicans to touch it, even though they love it. Every chance they get, they try to fuck it over. And do when they can. But, they want, like I say, they want all the benefits of civilization, but none of the responsibilities we have to each other. If you're so triggered by trans people or gay people, then learn. Go learn about people. You know what I mean? You don't have to be an ignoramus. There's no excuse anymore. The socialist government schools that are essential for democracy taught you how to read, not just to consume the cons of a bunch of fucking billionaire grifters who hate you and don't give a shit if you live or die. They want you to live under their thumb, like the way it was for thousands of years. And you're just like, oh, yes, sir. Yes, my lord. As long as I can call Mexicans rapists. And my little baby who doesn't exist said, why am I white? Shut the fuck up. Jesus Christ. And they have to recycle the same old ignorant canards. Like, that's what pissed me off, too. The grooming thing. Where was it? Grooming. It's grooming. Where does it say don't say gay? Even if. It doesn't have to say those words, asshole. But that's what it does. That's what it means. You fucking dumb bitch. God, these dumbs. But how dumb are you? What do you get out of being so dumb and being such a useless idiot for grifters and con men who don't bring anything to the table? They do nothing. All they do is suck their own cocks, and I know it's getting late, so, and they shit on you. Governor Ron DeSantis' longtime press secretary Christina Pushaw over the weekend tweeted that she believed educating children about sex leaves them vulnerable to abuse, and likened opponents to the so-called Don't Say Gay bill moving through the state legislature, well, it's already passed, right, to pedophiles. The bill that liberals inaccurately called Don't Say Gay would be more accurately described as an anti-grooming bill. Once again, putting out that bullshit that kills people. Kills, divides, and conquers people. They don't care who dies. That's why you think they give a shit about young trans kids whose parents love them and are trying to help them. You think they care about those kids, those families? No, they don't. They're harassing them. They're taking a very stressful period in their lives and making it worse. That's not patriotism. That's sickness. You should all be ashamed. if you had the capacity for shame. Now, if there were something about you, because Republicans are, you could set your clock to them, the hypocrisy and the whining. They want, oh yeah, you want all the benefits of civilization. Now, God forbid if somebody bothered you, called on you. What, I mean, nobody wants to do that. You show me a liberal that's fucking calling up and, they want to, because Republicans are always like, they're canceling us for what? Because you think you're saying something racist, you're saying something gay, homophobic, you're saying something ignorant, kicking down on minority groups, you're spreading lies. We're being canceled. But no one's, you don't see liberals like going into your house and saying, let me drop a dime on the fucking idiot that was in the chat room, because they're teaching their little brat that I don't know, that shooting an M16 is great, that they can't go to the fucking Walmart without an assault weapon. I wish, but anyway. The bill that liberals inaccurately call Don't Say Gay would be more accurately described as an anti-grooming bill. And that right there shows you that they are evil. Republicans are evil. Because they know better. That bitch knows better. It's not... yet again, they're killing people. They're getting more people killed. You better believe it. Hate crimes through the roof. Because every time Republicans get power, what do? Do they ever unify the American people? Do they ever shed light on something? Do they ever ask and encourage the dumbasses to evolve? If you're against the anti-grooming bill, you're probably a groomer, or at least don't denounce the grooming of 4 to 8-year-old children. As if hey, dummies. Being gay is not all about sex, you fucking dumb bitches. You want to build a life with somebody, right? You get married. Is that all you do, is just fuck away for the rest of your lives? Right? It's about grooming as much as it is about grooming when you tell kids, mommy and daddy got married on this date. Did you tell your kids, and then I fucked her real good. I blew him, I fucked her. Oh, you should have seen it. Right? These people are sick. Meanwhile, it's because they are sick. You understand? That's what it is. It's like, they're the ones grooming, and they're the ones. It's like the Josh Duggar. Focus on the family. He was the head of the Family Research Council. Family Research. Meanwhile, he hates women. He fucks children, or at least he wants to. God knows what he did to his own children. He gets off on images of raped children and shares them amongst all of the rest of his bottom feeders. But, oh yeah, gays, the worst thing. We gotta protect people from the gays forming a legal marriage contract. Meanwhile, there are gay kids. There are trans kids. And what do Republicans do? They don't give a shit. Who gets killed? Who kills themselves? What pain they cause? Just think about the pain they caused in the last 2 years, from the millions, nearing 1 million people dead in this country, and all those grieving families and friends left behind. That's what Republicans do. They don't care about your life, making a more perfect union. You're nothing but, you might as well be Soylent Green. You're grist for the mill. And that's what I'm quoting Ayn Rand, the hero of Republicans. What are people nothing but, fodder to be trampled and used for those who, I'm just paraphrasing, but that's who they are. Sick, twisted, and that's why you don't give fascists you don't give them power, because they can't handle it. And we need a better way to pick our representatives. We have to get money out of politics. And the Republicans don't want money out of politics, because they like it. They like the grift. Oh, and here's what I guess there's so many other things I have to talk about, but I didn't know it was going to be a Thomas Buster tonight, but that's okay. I hope everybody was okay in the chat room with all the fucking trolls everywhere. So this dumb bitch called, what's her name? They were all dumb bitches, of course. Ileana Garcia. So gay is not a permanent thing, she says. Okay, the Florida Senate has approved the controversial parents' right. Parental rights. Oh, yes, it's all about parental rights and freedom. It's about mom, apple pie, freedom, God, Jesus, and the founding fathers' heritage. Dubbed the Don't Say Gay bill. Now, after hours of impassioned debate and even protests from students, the bill is ready for the governor's desk. Senators accepted the bill in a 22-17 vote, with most Republicans supporting and Democrats opposing. 2 Republicans, Senator Jeff Brandeis and Jennifer Bradley, broke from their fascist prick party and voted against the bill. While Brandeis had already expressed frustration with the bill, Bradley decided to vote it down out of concern about the message it sends, he writes, or says. This is from Florida Politics, written by Kelly Hayes. I want to support parental rights in school. Well, you already do. That's why you have a school board. You can't have every dumb bitch parent, like the dumb bitches on the chat, not you guys, the trolls that came into the chat, going in there and saying, hey, I don't believe in evolution or whatever you're going to teach them in science class. I believe that Jesus rode a dinosaur, and you better include that. I have my rights. Well, it's all a part of the way Republicans destroy democracy. Attacking schools is part of it. This is all about making education, once again, a providence of the rich. Okay, make no mistake. This is about getting taxpayer money into so-called charter schools, and also, ensuring that average Joe morons don't get educated, that they are stupid. They remain stupid. They remain ignorant, and willfully so. Intelligent design. They learn nonsense, absolute nonsense. Just like, you want to see the future that Republicans have in store for this country? Look at Pakistan. That's the conservative future. Look at Afghanistan. Right? Pakistan, no taxes on the rich. The military eats up the budget. Gays are in the closet. Oh yeah, they don't talk about gays. There's no government schools. There's what else? Well, everybody knows their place. The women know their place. And the military cannot be questioned. and neither can the rich. The whole thing is, it's run the way the Republicans want to run this country. No social safety net. Right? Prove me wrong. I want to support parental rights in school, but I'm also mindful of our legislature's voice. I'm a mom to 3 children. I love all the children in the state of Florida. I'm concerned about the message it sends. Well, yeah, when you're telling people they can't talk about their lives. Now, you have kids in school who have 2 parents of the same peepee. They can't talk about it? Because somebody might get what? Their sky spook might get upset? It's so fucking backward, you dumb, backward assholes. I wish they would shut up and get the hell out, go to the woods like the Unabomber, whatever you call him. Ted Kaczynski. He didn't like the reindeer games either, but he had the integrity to move to the woods. You guys don't even have the integrity of the Unabomber. Why don't Democrats point that out? I don't know. See, they want all the benefits of civilization. They want to be able to drink the water and not get parasites. They want to be able to eat food and know that, well, that's a complicated story, but we know that Trump allowed feces into the food supply, but that Republicans, how much do they love you, Republicans, if they literally make you eat shit? Not just figuratively, literally. It's fucking crazy. Okay. Ocala Republican Senator Dennis Baxley, who filed the Senate version of the bill, presented the legislation to the Senate. This has not been an easy bill for me, believe me, Baxley said. The measure would ban classroom instruction on sexual orientation or gender identity for students in kindergarten through 3rd grade, or in a manner that is not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students in accordance to state standards, which is deliberately vague, as all fascist bills are. The what is appropriate, age appropriate? It's not, you can't say that I have 2 mommies? That's not age appropriate. And it's only Republicans who are dirty. They got dirty little sick minds. That's what they think. Is that what you do when you go and you meet? Hi, Jane. Nice to see you. Oh, hi. Hi, Mary. This is my husband, Jim. What you think of Jane getting fucking reamed by Jim? Is that where you go automatically? You're like, oh, I wonder if she rims his ass. I know I'm getting pretty graphic, but that's where they go, I guess. Because it's all about sex for them, except they hate it, and because of their sicknesses throughout life, maybe they masturbated, and their daddy saw them, and then he beat them, so they have a very twisted world in their minds, and they're like, hate, and they beat themselves. They used to do that with the, beat themselves with whatever they called that, wearing a hair shirt because they hate themselves. I don't know, something wrong with them. Parents who think a classroom discussion was not age appropriate or who are unsupportive of the district's policy would be able to sue for damages and attorney's fees. Because that's who they are. It's all about dividing people, and it's more about causing a chill across society and causing suspicion. And yeah, that's not patriotic. You're not patriots. You hate America. And you just hate. You hate yourselves most of all, but I wish you would just get help. Get help. You don't have to be so hateful and such bores. such anti-American, anti-democratic tools? You don't. So let's see. Baxley came under fire during debate comments that he made on Monday during questions, saying that he brought the bill because there is a cultural shift encouraging students to come out. Good. Not like, when I was a kid, I wanted to fucking kill myself because I was gay. That's what they want. They want more suicides. They want pain. They want someone to grow up like it happened all the time, where men would grow up and they'd have their wives, their beards, and then they go out and they live these horrible, lives of repression and self-loathing, which, started, there's a whole other discussion there about how men would bring various, during the AIDS crisis, then you'd have wives coming home, all of a sudden, not wives, husbands come home and they give AIDS, or they pass HIV on to their spouses because they're out having unprotected sex, anonymous sex, because they fucking hate themselves. And who does that harm? Everybody, the kids, the family, not just. And let's put aside the sexually transmitted diseases, the life itself, a wasted life. So you get married. You want a woman to get married to or vice versa, to somebody who is in the closet, because you're beating them into submission. That's what you want. Focus on the family, right? It's all about the family and the kids. That's real good for the kids and the family. Not the showing the or embracing the diversity of life, the tapestry of humanity. God, what is wrong with you fucking bores? Where do you live in your minds? Boring, black and white, boring, sad little world, and then you're gonna die. And you're not going to a mansion. I'm sorry. It's not. I'm here to break it to you. There is no mansion in heaven. This is it. You're not going to be sitting next to Jimi Hendrix and Judy Garland. Oh, God. Let me see. Pamela Beach Democrat Lori Berman called Baxley out. Wait. Here we go. Oh, sorry. I missed this whole quote. Why is everybody now all about coming out when you're in school? And there's really a dynamic of concern of how much these are genuine. Yeah, because that's the way it is, right? Kids just want to be like, yeah, fuck it. I think I'll pretend I'm gay. Yeah, how many of them are just kids trying on different kinds of things they hear about? Okay, guys, what do you want to know? What do you want to bet? If everybody who was gay all of a sudden turned purple, what do you think this Baxley asshole would turn? What color would he be? He'd be lit up like a Teletubby. Because that's what he's talking about here. He's just, hey, maybe it's not genuine. You see, I was able to have a fake-ass marriage. There's something wrong with how we're emphasizing this. This is what it is, you see? They don't want to be tempted. If there's exception, that's why they hate gay marriage, or not even gay, what is it? It's just marriage of the same peepees. That's what I like to call it. It's a legal marriage contract between people of same peepees. Wow. There's something wrong with how we're emphasizing this, and all of a sudden, overnight, they're a celebrity? See? They don't want to be tempted. I know parents are very concerned about the departure of the core belief systems and values. The core belief that you are inherently defective. And that's what they need. They need more suicides, more tears, more families kicking their kids out because the sky spook said, God is love. We heard yesterday that, and then where is this? Democratic Senator Lori Berman said, we heard yesterday that the genesis of this bill was to try and prevent what the sponsor believes to be a problem, that somehow more and more children are becoming gay, and that it's a fad for them to make them into celebrities. You see how stupid they are? They never, ever, ever find themselves on the right side of history. Am I right or wrong there? Can somebody dig that up? A Republican being on the right side of history? And then, let me see. Miami-Dade Democratic Senator Jason Pizzo also cited Baxley's comments, arguing the courts will throw the bill out for invidious discrimination. That, ladies and gentlemen, will be what the court points to and quotes as a prima facie case on its face of invidious discrimination. Am I saying that correctly? Invidious. I guess I never used that word too much. Likely to arouse resentment. I like that. Okay. I'll put that in my hat. Discrimination for what we have targeted and what we've selected to be a protected class. Why is drug use discussion not prohibited? The issue is, why is gender identity and sexual orientation specifically prohibited when there are so many other difficult, mature subjects that are not exempted? Oh, boy. We made it clear that this bill is about one thing. Section 3, sexual orientation and gender identity, Jones said, who is the first openly gay state senator. The bill's sponsor says schools are socially engineering children. It's always about the children when it's about them. It's about them. Don't turn my son or daughter bill, and then someone else says that children are confused. Democratic legislators criticized the vague language of the legislation and alluded to a veiled attempt at a culture war. Of course. They're so sick. And prove me wrong. You know, I say it all the time. They are sick. If Republicans would only get help for their various cornucopia of manias, and rather than inflict them on society, the world would be a better place. They suck. They're nothing but useless tools of the 1%. Now, the 1% are exempted from all of this. They're sitting up in the catbird seat laughing, while the dumbasses are down here living paycheck to paycheck, can't save $400, and fighting over the scraps while reporting on each other. Dumb. Here's this Ileana Garcia. She went on a epic dumb bitch rant.
Is not a permanent thing, and it's not a bad thing.
She's talking about being gay is not a permanent thing. I mean, speak for yourself, I guess. She went to college, is that it? So she had her fun in college or something, and she was a window shopper? Okay.
I say with all due respect, when they say targeting, this isn't at all about targeting. I think this is about perhaps rerouting the responsibilities back to the parents. Is what
Fuck
I think
you.
that,
oh, really? Because it was working out
once.
so well for years and years, that where parents were like, what? Is that what we're waiting for? It's the whole society changed, and Republicans can't handle it. That's the problem. Human beings, our society keeps evolving, and Republicans are like, get back here. Get back here to the times we put in the trash pile. They don't want to go back to good times, like when we had a 90% top marginal tax rate on the rich, right? Or a 35% unionized workforce. They don't want that. They want to go back to the fucking They want to roll back civil rights. They want to go back to Jim Crow. They want everybody back in the closet. Not a beautiful world of live and let live, where equal protection under the law, where we get a more perfect union and government isn't just an appendage of the affairs of the billionaires who will never be affected by this. Anyway, it's a game for them, and we're nothing but pawns. And these goddamn repressed, hateful, homophobic, bigoted ignoramuses, QAnon, Q-sucking, turd-sucking, con-man-suckling assholes are nothing but the useless idiots. Jesus Christ.
Again, delineate. When I introduce my friends, I don't say, this is my best gay friend. No, this is my best friend.
Look at her. Isn't she irritating? Is this my best gay friend? You don't have any gay friends. Honey, I'd be surprised if you had any friends. Gay or otherwise. What a moron. They are so cracked. You know, I mean, she's sick, just like the rest of them. But, of course, that's who they are.
Or, this is my lesbian aunt. No, this is my aunt.
Shut the fuck up. Your lesbian aunt, if you have a lesbian aunt, should be embarrassed. I know I'm somebody's lesbian aunt, and I'm embarrassed for you. I would, if this was my niece, be like, what's wrong with you, bitch? Where'd you go wrong? What are you talking about? Keep my name out of your mouth. You stupid, dumb bitch. You're no longer my niece. You're disowned. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I don't know what I do. I'd have to. Thankfully, I don't have to deal with that. I don't have dumb bitches for nieces. They're decent people. They're not ignorant.
You know, people are people because of their qualities, not because of their identity and their sexuality.
Oh, is that it? Their sexuality. There they go again. That's why it's called sexual orientation. Because Republicans are all like, yeah, sex. It's all about that, right? These are people that show their, you know, you're talking about like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who, serial adulterer, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and then you got Lauren Boebert, banned from the bowling alley, Boebert, because her husband showed his underwhelming penis to underage girls. I mean, that's talking about a sexual predator. But it's the gays, right? Who is grooming? Who's grooming there? You're showing your dick to children. That's that's Lauren Boebert's husband. And they were both kicked out of the bowling alley. Banned from the bowling alley for it. Probably because little Bo bitch, was probably like, you know, acting a fool, as she always did, with her petty arrests. Just petty little arrests, not showing up for court, interfering with police officers, shit like that, being a dumb bitch, and marrying a man who shows his penis to children at a bowling alley. That you got your real, that's your bench, Republicans. You really got a bunch of winners there.
Ever find Senator Garcia pandering the LGBT community for a vote, ever. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans. One thing is sexuality, and another thing is identity. You can identify as the opposite, but not necessarily like the opposite sex. I'll give you an example. A very good friend of mine, trans, went through the whole transition as an older man, 58 years old, became a woman, and guess what? He still likes women. He still likes women. He went through the whole process. And we'd laugh together and I'd say, Why do you want to deal with the hormones? Why do you want to have to worry about the extensions and the hair and the boobs and the nails? And he loved it. And when he went through the transition and had an experience, a sexual experience, you realize that he continued to like women.
See how stupid they are? What the fuck does that have to do with anything? Whether he liked women or not. You see how sick they are? And it was she, excuse me. Because I'm just saying what she's saying. My friend, an older gentleman, went through transition. An older gentleman, yeah, a woman, you fucking dumb bitch. Your friend? That's your friend? And then went through the whole thing. Why do you want to have boobs? Why do you want to have hair? You see how dumb they are? Guess what? You dumb, sick little twisted Republicans. I know I repeat myself. A person can be a trans woman and still like women. They still maybe want to form a marriage contract with somebody of the same pee-pee. That doesn't mean you're not a woman. They're not fit, guys. They are not fit. They're not fit. They don't understand life. They're not adult enough. They lack the maturity. She's like, guess what? I have a friend. Oh, yeah. And arguing by anecdote is the weakest form of argument. So continue, Republican, because that's all you got. You got one story about something. And so, why do you want to have the boobs? Why do you want to have the I mean, how dumb are you? It's almost painful. Oh, my God. Oh, my. Who is this dumb? Now we have another fucking. You just seem like you're upset. Fuck you. Goodbye. Another filthy right-winger. God. You just seem like you're upset. Are you mad? You want to drink our tears, Mark? Is that it? You're such a patriot? You want to drink liberal tears? Why don't you get a fucking clue? Jesus Christ. You just seem upset. Yeah, I get that way when my country is overrun by morons like Mark Strano and fascists like Mark Strano and the rest of the dumb bitches who vote for a con man and say, I like drinking liberal tears. Because they're patriots? Honey, you're not a patriot. Not only are you not a patriot, you're not barely human. So, you just seem upset. Not like Trump. Oh, what is it? I didn't call anybody a fat pig, so you couldn't relate? Is that it? You need somebody. Oh, maybe if I was a white man kicking down on some underdog, you would be jumping right in there, right, Mark? Such patriots who seem to love America but hate everybody in it. God, bunch of morons. You just seem upset. Fuck off. Yeah, I know. I get upset when a bunch of morons vote who are racist, inherently racist, and lack the fundamental maturity to function in a free democratic society that they can only pretend to love. I get a little upset when the morons continue to infest and inflict their manias on decent society despite receiving fewer votes. I just get that way. I don't know. You know, because I'm a patriot. I have the ability to function in a democratic society. That's what it means. It doesn't mean wearing a shirt with a star on it. Maybe try not being so racist. And not, I mean, God, what is it? What is it with the racists? You sound racist, Mark. You do. You do. You really do. What is it? What is it about you, Mark, that makes you want to be some con man's bitch? What is it? Oh, I'm nobody's bitch. No, you're a bitch. You're a real whiny little bitch, too. Because, I mean, being a dupe of a con man is probably the most pathetic way to go through life. Not only a dupe of a con man, it's like, oh, can I have more of that? I need more of the tax cheating, draft dodging, dictator envying con man. I need somebody to, I don't know, call somebody a fat pig, and I need somebody to say, don't tell others what to talk about and what to read, because I'm a patriot, right? And then I'm going to drink your tears because I'm a patriot. Meanwhile, people in Ukraine are pledging their lives, fortune, and sacred honor to each other against your con man's hero, and you're out here going, you seem upset. Why don't you go fucking away? Go to a desert island, because civilization is too much for you. That's the way it is with them. They hate America. They hate democracy. They hate the very fundamental essence of what it is, what the grand experiment in liberal democracy is. They really do. Oh, I guess I've triggered. There were a lot of triggered right-wingers, so must be doing something right. That's good. All right, we'll see. All right, it's time to go. I need to go and relax. I have other things to talk about. One other thing. Well, here. Well, this is short, but it proves my point. Republicans are unfit. You might have seen this. This guy, this was just, when was this? On Facebook Live. This asshole, his name is Robert Regan, a Republican nominee for the Michigan House of Representatives. Okay. This is who he won. He won his primary by like 78 votes or something. He's got 3 daughters. The daughters, this is a pattern with the fascists. One of his daughters publicly posted on her social media, "For the love of God, do not vote for my father." Okay? To know them is to hate them. They're unfit. If you have any semblance of a clue, you hate Republicans because you're a normal person. You realize who they are, what you're dealing with. So this one, here's his latest, and it's something that Republicans repeatedly recycle. Just like they recycle the same old bigotries and the same old fascist tactics of book banning and divisive, ignorant bullshit about gays being pedophiles, when, of course, we know that's not true. Statistically, there are more straight white men who are pedophiles. So I guess maybe that's why people like Mark Strano get so triggered. They want to be in a party of pedophiles called the Republican Party. And so here's another oldie but goodie that keeps getting recycled. I'll let him speak for himself.
Having 3 daughters, and I tell my daughters, well, if rape is inevitable, you should just lie back and enjoy it. So that's not how we roll. That's not how I.
Okay, that's all you have to hear. If rape is inevitable, just lie back and enjoy it. This is something that Republicans repeatedly recycle. throughout, I mean, my life, I remember in the 90s, there was a Republican that got in trouble. Not much, because they love that shit, for saying that very thing. If you are going to get raped, lie back and enjoy it. You know, because they love America. They love women. They're patriots. I mean, they're just sick. Very sick people. So, they're fascists. They hate democracy. They hate humanity. They hate decency. And they never stop. Never, ever stop. All over the way. All you got to do is Google that statement, and you'll see other Republicans saying it. And then then there was a female conservative in England got in trouble saying the same fucking thing. They can't help it. They are sick. And they lack the fundamental ability to function in the type of free democratic society they can only pretend to love. And there you go. All right, guys. My name is Tara Devlin. I want to thank Thomas Reynolds for hanging out tonight. And I guess thank him for his Thomas Buster. Check out Thomas, the Nosey Liberal, in the morning, 9 a.m., 9 to noon, at FYINation.com. And remember to subscribe to his channel. If you can, please go over there now and just do it. Do it. I think, where is it? For some reason, I can't get into the chat. There's something blocking it, and it won't go away. Oh, I got rid of it. It was Mark Stranos. Oh, thank you, Robin, for your super chat. And while I'm here, let me say again, thank you, Richard W., for your super chat. Thank you, Jim, for your super chat. Thank you, Stephen Lee, for 2 super chats. Holy moly. I missed that, Stephen. The first one was, may Ukraine be victorious over Russian aggression. Yep. And the second one was, Republicans will not replace us. Yes, exactly. They won't. They are the minority. They know it. That's why they have to play their dirty tricks and divide and conquer and seed the country with ignorance and ignoramuses. Because they suck. All right. And what? Another Stephen Lee. Come on, guys. You can't let Stephen do all the heavy lifting. Yeah, thank you, Steven. Steven says, there are no shortages in the stupidity aisle. What happened? Where they all come from tonight? And thank you, Robin M., for your super chat. Oh, whoa, Irene. Thank you. And Irene says, the haiku tip jar. Excellent work tonight, my friend. That's right. Tarabuster and friends, much love. Thank you, haiku. Really, haiku. God. I put you to the test tonight. There were like 10 goddamn trolls. Something got triggered. Someone was triggered. I mean, I don't mind them hanging out. I wish they would just hang out and get a clue. But it's crazy how much they want to be convinced. I guess it's validating their Stockholm syndrome. Or what is it? Or validating their bigotries. Yeah. So, all right. So we'll do it like this again. If we get a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin, we will do a show tomorrow night. All right. What do you think? If not, I'll see you, I guess, on Friday at our regular scheduled show. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here at the Tarabuster page. Oh, I see on there was Chris on Facebook says, Tara, I had the same experience with soap growing up. That's funny. Maybe we went to, I guess it was a Catholic thing where it was like a whole bulletin across the Catholic churches where they told people not to watch soap. And Chris writes, that show was hilarious, but the same issue as you had. Haha. Exactly. Which was I wasn't allowed to watch it because it might turn me gay. All it did was make me, hate myself for being gay. That's what the Catholic Church did. And I guess my parents, too. Even though when I finally did come out, they were good. They had chilled out. They learned, what's important in life. They weren't assholes. So I appreciate that. And now I don't see, I have a trans, I don't know, it's hard to, because they are they are trans, but identifying as they, them, and I don't know what do you call your niece or nephew that way? You know what I mean? I don't know what to say, what the term would be. But they are trans, and my brother is not a dick about it. And I'm proud to say that. Really, that's great. We've come a long way. The whole family. I would expect them not to be assholes about it. But I just think that's good. It goes to show you that the world is changing and evolving. Because when I was younger, actually, remember there was a movie, it was great. It was called Bound. You remember that? It was a lesbian. It was like a lesbian movie, but it was a popular one. Who was in that? Bound. It's about a lesbian. A lesbian couple who Jennifer Tilly and Gina Gershon. Yes, exactly. And in one of the scenes, they go. It was this couple were stealing from the mob or something. I don't know. It's been a long time since I watched it. But I remember we rented that movie, my brother and I, and we were watching it. They have no problem with gay women because I guess they find that titillating. But there was a scene where there were two guys. They were at a gay bar, and two guys started making out in the background. And my brother was like, are those two guys making out? What? And he was all... But we were younger, and I was just like rolling my eyes. But now, whatever. Feast and Esau, maybe. I gotta ask them what they want to be called, because it's gonna be... But, they live in California. I don't really see them much, so... But I love them and give them cards on their birthday. And it's hard even to say they. I have to think about it because, they're in my mind as one way. Because I don't see them as often as my other nieces and nephews. But I do know that it's all good. Love and support. And being proud and happy for some, that's your life, hon. We're here to cheer each other on. God bless you. I'm in your corner. And then, when they came out on Facebook, basically, everybody was like really supportive. So good. That took courage. Even though, you hope you get a good response. You never know. So. But I was happy to say that everybody was pretty cool. Even the older generation, So good. We've evolved. The whole world is evolving. Republicans can't handle it. There are more, and that's why you see more trans people coming out in general. It's like gays coming out. Now, pretty much everybody knows somebody who's gay, right? It's not a big deal anymore. It's on TV. You have gay actors. You have gay actors playing straight people and straight actors playing gays, right? It used to be such a big deal. Now nobody cares. Who cares? Nobody cares. Is nibblings? Is that true? Winston Smith says the term for non-gender nieces and nephews is nibblings. Is that true? I gotta look that up. That's my... what would I say then? This is my nibbling? Nibbling. Are you kidding around here? Are you making a joke out of me? Is that true? Nibble. Oh, look at that. I see that. All right, you're right. You're not pulling my leg there. But it does sound kind of weird. Nibbling. This is my nibbling? It sounds a little, Nibbling is a gender-neutral term used to refer to a child of one sibling as a replacement for niece or nephew. Look at that. The word is thought to have been coined in the early 50s, but was relatively obscure for several decades and being revived in recent years. All right, nibbling, but it doesn't... That sounds kind of like you're making fun, though. Nibbling. This is my nibbling. Nobody would be... But people would be like, what the... Who? What? I don't know. Very good. Thank you, Winston, for telling me that. I didn't even know. I wouldn't even know. My nibbling. I wonder if they know that. That they're my nibbling. I don't know. Well, good. Nibbling, though. It does sound kind of weird. Origin of the word nibbling. The word's coinage is widely credited to Samuel E. Martin, a professor of Far Eastern linguistics at Yale University, who's better known for many things, among them developing romanization system for transliterating Korean. All right. Now that's a niche. The year 1951 is commonly attached to this coinage, his coinage, but we've been unable to find the primary source. Nibbling, however, is mostly languished in linguistic obscurity for its first 5 decades of existence. Merriam-Webster received a letter from a writer in Blaine, Pennsylvania concerning the term in 1996. But the reply our correspondent received informed them that we had no evidence of its use. As the previous millennium has receded, however, nibbling has started to show signs of life. We received another letter concerning the word in 2005. This is from Merriam-Webster website. This time a correspondent in Fort Lauderdale. The evidence of the word in use began to appear in print as well, though more often on the other side of the proverbial pond. For example, school children in Paulton are campaigning to get a new word in the English dictionary. They are arguing friends and family use the word nibblings instead of like nieces and nephews, siblings, nieces and... I gotcha. All right. The Guardian recently published a report on a woman talking about her antistic relationship with her nibblings. You quickly realize that the words wrapped in IC are not real words in the sense of existing in dictionaries, although that may change. Yet their meanings are clear. Antistic in the manner of ant, nibbling, an ingenious, gender-neutral, collective term on the model of sibling. Okay. In 2005, nibbling was a runner-up in the New Word Challenge of The Independent on Sunday, a London newspaper, a contest run in collaboration with the good people of Collins Dictionary. The word, in fact, entered the Collins Dictionary in 2012. Look at that. Look at that. I'll have to see. Okay. Nibbling. That's my nibbling. Alrighty. Sounds good. Nibbling, right? Haiku. Nibbling confirmed. That's right. All right, guys. I got to go lay down and get unconscious and let Tara Jr. out of the bedroom. Where's the other guys? All right, my friends. Listen up. Become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin, if you will. We will have a show tomorrow night. But other than that, oh no, hi Errol, I see you on Twitch. Nice to see you there. Thank you for hanging out. All right, guys, we will win. We know that. And thank you, Haiku. Thanks to Haiku, we will win. We'll win in the chat room. And thank you, Thomas, again, for coming on the show. FYNation.com. Check out Thomas's show in the morning, 9 a.m. to noon. The Nosey Liberal. And we will win. Because we're on the right side of history. Oh, yeah. They know that. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, and democracy. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really mean it. We stick together. We win. Become a patron, somebody. And I'll see you tomorrow night.